Estamos en vivo, amigos. Saludos y bienvenidos a mi graveyard. Yo soy el anfitrión de esta noche, el hombre de cementerio de Salem, Mass, siempre recibiendo nombres y pateando dulces treseros en vivo emocionado aquí contigo en Grande's Graveyard. Hello and welcome, ladies and gents. What do you think of my Spanish intro, Mr. Steele? Did you like it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I promised I was going to try for Anita. So Anita, if you're watching, babe, ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenido. Welcome to my graveyard in English, ladies and gents. But we had to try that here on the show tonight. We've got a bunch of people already in the chat. Miss Carter's chilling in the graveyard. Miss C, welcome. Yay, Grande Steel Connection pudding. Yay, put it in your mouth. Trent, you clown. We got Slasher Fred in the Heezy. Well, what's up, good brother Slasher Fred? Hope all is well with you, man. Mateo, ciao, Mateo. What's going on, man? So we got a bunch of people in the chat already. Glad to have them, and I'm especially glad to have my special guest of the evening. It's been a long time coming, brother. Mr. John Steele, welcome to the graveyard, man.
Yeah, man. Hello to everybody, and hello to Grande. I mean, I've been waiting for this. So I love watching you, man, and like the way you just fucking tear apart some of the stuff, and we have a lot of things in common, and we also have a lot of things the way we view movies as well. I love how we fucking view some of the same movies the same. So yeah.
Totally, man. No, and I've been wanting to have you on forever, man. I'm glad you could join tonight. And Anita, I did the Spanish intro, babe. I don't know if you saw it, but I did it for you. I think I did a pretty good job on it. So, ¿Qué tal, Mama Sota? Mateo, ciao, Grande, and ciao, John. Yeah, you might be the first John I've ever had on the show, come to think of it. I don't think I've ever had another John on the show, crazy enough. Fucking wild to think about.
It is wild, yo. Wow.
Yeah, because it's such a common name. Brit's in the Heezy. What's going on, Brit? Hope all is well. But man, I've been wanting to have you on for the longest time. I'm glad we could finally hook up and do this. Tonight we'll be doing the female director spotlight. We'll be talking about not one but two awesome horror exploitation flicks. Tenement from 1985, and of course Blood Diner from the year 1987. But before we do that, I always like when first-time guest comes on. I got some questions for you. I got them written on the old phone here. I'm gonna rock and roll with these. This is a standard one though, right off the bat. John Steele, good brother, how did you fall in love with horror? What was that one movie that launch padded you into becoming the fan that you are today?
Long story short, I grew up in a neighborhood that had a little cinema right around the corner, like literally walking distance city. And my grandmother took me to see Exorcist in 1978. I was 5 years old. I know it came out in 73. I was 5 and couldn't get through the whole thing. By the time shit started moving around in the room and everything, I was just like this, ears and thumbs in my ears and hands. She's like, oh, no. We got to go. You can't handle this. And took me to some all-night diner. We ate there and then went home. And then I hadn't watched Exorcist after 5 years old for maybe at least another like 6 to 7 years, bro. I had to be, build myself up to it because it had me messed up for a while, bro. I mean, that's a heavy one to see first off, So.
Sure, especially at 5 years old. I mean, that's crazy. My dad, it's funny, he tells a similar story. He was a little bit older. I think he was like 15 or 16 years old. He saw Dawn of the Dead in New York City with his aunt. And the minute where they blow off the one guy's head in the apartment and, it's that blood spatter of all that crazy shit. My dad, he said he ran out of the theater and then his aunt was like, are you serious, bro? And he was like, dude, they just blew that guy's fucking head off. We're 10 minutes in. And, they went home. They didn't watch the rest of the movie. And then, fast forward 30, 40 years down the road, that's my all-time favorite movie. So it's just absolutely fucking crazy how that came full circle. The movie that scared the shit out of him is my favorite movie to this day. It's crazy.
Did he introduce it to you or did you find it on your own?
For me, it was actually more of a thing I found on my own. I remember going to my grandmother's house, and actually in PA, funnily enough, she had a summer home out there, and they had this like really ratchet 48 Hours video store, and I just loved it, man. And I would go up and down the aisles. And I remember the covers of horror movies always fascinating me. And I remember they had this little ladder. And, I was smaller at that time, so I would climb the ladder. And I saw the Friday the 13th movies were on the top shelf. And I was just like, you know what? I got to give this a shot. Rented the original on VHS, and I fell in love with it from there. And it was just, I don't know, just all the different, gateways and avenues it took me down. Like when I discovered Italian horror and J horror and all these different avenues, because it's like you start off mainstream, everybody mostly does. But then it was the outlets that it showed me and the psychology behind a lot of it that really made me fall in love with it. But that was really where it started for me. It was my grandmother's house. But my parents, neither one of them horror fans, and neither was my grandmother. Just not at all. I don't know why, but not.
See, you got that grandmother connection too with the horror. That's you see, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how it kind of all came full circle. But I don't know. I'm happy. I'm certainly happy I fell down that path, because it's like I wouldn't be here tonight, if it wasn't. Second question for you though. Red pill, blue pill. We got a little matrix going here. Red pill, dream job, dream salary, and why. Blue pill, $5 million tax-free tomorrow, no questions asked. Red pill or blue pill, which one and why?
Well, if you see, I'm wearing red, you're wearing blue. So we didn't plan this, people. I didn't plan. We didn't. I didn't know what he was gonna wear. I didn't even know what I was gonna wear today. I'm red pill all the way, bro. Like I've been red pill most of my life. As far as dream job for me would just to be right full time, to be a writer full time. And the 5 million, bro, people think that the money, that type of money will last, like depending on who you are and like your type of spending and like how much you would hook up your people, that 5 mil will go pretty quick if you think about it, bro. So I think it would be for me dream job, because then I can make myself happy. The money's not gonna make me happy. I can make myself happy with the things that I can give back to people, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I'm a red pill guy all the way, even though I am wearing the blue. I am red pill with you. But that's interesting, man. What would you want to write? Like, would you want to write fiction, nonfiction? Would you want to write like self-biography stuff? What are you into writing wise?
Well, for those that don't know, I don't know if you know, Grande. I've written 3 books, and they're all like, I call it like hip hop urban poetry. So because I used to do music, I used to do music. I still do hip hop. Corey knows, you got a lot of people who know me know, but I've written 3 books on red pill type of stuff in the format of hip hop. So urban poetry, I've done that. And yeah, I mean, if I could do that for the rest of my life, probably I'd be happy.
That's fantastic, man. I honestly didn't know that. I know you're a musical guy. Like I know, like I remember. I think that's the first time we ever interacted. Was you were on with the horror boy Nate, and you guys were doing like freestyle raps, and then he saw that I was in the room, and he said, "Oh, it's the Pajama Pants Playa," and you loved that. You were like, "The Pajama Pants Playa." You were like, "What the hell?" Do you know how that whole nickname came to be? Do you know that story?
No.
Oh shit! I got it. All right, brief story. So we're in high school around this time, and I remember I had like 9th period gym class. So I mean, I was like, fuck, like I could chill the whole day, and then 9th period was like we were done. And I remember I always had a pair of pajamas in the gym locker, so I could go home cozy, because I'd be sweating and shit after gym class. I put these pajamas on, and me and my boy were like, yo, let's hit Taco Joe's. We went, we got some burritos, and he's like, yo, there's a big party going on tonight. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather go home and change. He's like, fuck that shit, man. He's just like, let's just go. And I was like, all right. So we go, and I'm in pajamas, and I'm sitting there. I don't know a soul. I'm like, dude, like I'm not in party gear right now. All of a sudden, this fucking dime comes up to me. I won't say her full name, but her first name was Bridget. And Bridget had these tight fucking leather pants on, and it was fucking amazing. And I was like, holy shit. And she said, right,
black or white pants.
Black leather, like fucking like grease shit, only hotter than fucking what Olivia Newton-John. Fucking, you ever Xanadu? That's a piece of shit for anybody.
My wife loves that fucking film, dude. It has. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It has homeboy from the Warriors in it, dude.
It does, yeah, it does. That's true.
That's my favorite movie, The Warriors.
Your favorite? Oh, The Warriors. Okay, I was gonna say Xanadu, but bro, like, But yeah, no, she was, and then we hooked up in the hammock that night, and like that was the next day at the school or the next week. People were like, "Oh, it's a pajama pants play." And I don't know why it's stuck. It's stuck because it was like, bro, how could like
This dude
me
is pulling females in fucking pajama pants. Meanwhile, other guys are at the party, like just kind of like, awesome.
Yeah, no, that I appreciate that. No, and yeah, that's how that whole thing started. I made it my email in college. I applied to colleges with that as my email name. Probably not the smartest idea. Maybe that's why I didn't get into Harvard, but maybe it's also why I did not. But that is neither here nor there. That I always wanted to tell you that though, because I wasn't sure if you knew. That was the whole story with that. Slasher Fred, Warriors, come out and play. I love it, man. By the way, AJ's in the heezy. What's going on, brother AJ? Trenchy says, fuck that red pill, blue pill, I'm in that purple pill. Of course you are, man. The books are really good. Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there a way I could buy any of these books from you?
I don't really endorse them, bro. Like if I could give these fucking things like out for free to everybody, I really would, man. You know what I mean? Like that's how adamant and strong I am about like spreading the message, and not to like toot my own horn and shit, but like a lot of shit that's going on right now, I was writing about over 20 years ago, bro.
Really?
Yeah, no bullshit.
What started your if you don't mind me asking, like what started your passion for that? Like what was was it just you sat down one day and just wanted to verbally just was like, I'll be honest with this, I forget life before this. Like I like coming out here verbally expressing myself every fucking week. Like it's therapeutic for me. Did you find it therapeutic for yourself?
The writing part or the red pill-ness of it?
No, the writing part. Like just the expressing yourself.
Oh, I mean, I've been doing that since probably 4th or 5th grade, bro. Like writing poetry and then writing rhymes and kind of, I was always in the hip hop from like, I think I was born in 73. So that's the year hip hop got birthed. So I was birthed into hip hop. So it was a natural kind of, me going towards that. I grew up around it my whole life. So it's just, the writing part, man, I just grew to love it, in school and then like doing it on my own and stuff. So yeah.
That's fantastic. That's really, really cool. I didn't know any of this. So I'm glad we did this. Next question here. And I actually have a bonus question since we talked before the show, and that one's would be a yes or no or just a one place. But this is a tough one. If you could have dinner with any two horror icons, living or dead, who would you go with and where would you go to eat? Very tough one.
Okay, one is my favorite horror franchise of all time is the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So Robert Englund. We're going for pizza somewhere just because the whole pizza theme stuff in some of the movies and all that.
R4.
Yep. And another horror icon. I don't know because I've met a few, man. I've met Linda Blair. I wasn't too impressed. Let's just say that.
She was kind of weird when I met her, man. Like all the pictures of her dog. I love dogs, but
she has like her vibe was off to me, bro. But who's really nice? I guess I would probably Adrienne Barbeau, bro. She's a fucking gem of a lady, man. I talked to her for at least a half hour when I met her, dude. Just me and her just talking about stuff, dude. So she's a gem.
Yeah. AJ asked me to ask you. He just messaged me, dude. You got to ask John Steele if he's ever done Baron von Raschke boss cosplay. Have you ever done that?
I don't know who that is, bro.
I don't either. I don't know. AJ, enlighten us, man, in the comments here. I don't know who that is. Yeah, no. I definitely. I think you picked some good choices, and that actually sort of links to my last question. You said pizza. Mm-hmm. I know you spent some of your childhood in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Best pizza place in Brooklyn, in your opinion?
I wouldn't even remember, bro.
No, none of them stand out.
I mean, no. I mean, so many different spots, man, and a lot of places that were open aren't there anymore, bro. It's a different city. The whole city is just different now, bro. Gentrification and people moving in from out of state and stuff. So a lot of little mom and pop places closed down, but some of the mainstays are like still there. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I was just fuck it. When I was a kid, I didn't really care. Like, oh, let's go to Uncle Tony's or fucking this place or this place, right? It was more just like, yeah, I'm hungry. Let's have pizza type of shit, you know.
I hear that completely. Yeah, no, and I don't know. Like, I don't have a specific place in the city either. Like by me, pizza's good enough, but I don't know. It does taste different in the city. Like, I used to go to Rose's Pizza back before they just closed down. And then I would get off the train. That's when I was working in the city. Like, I would stop there and get pizza like two, three times a week. I fucking loved it. You know, they had that sausage pepperoni combo. That's like my favorite. But you know, sadly they're gone now. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
But yeah, no. So we have got to know Mr. Steele. I actually didn't know some of that stuff, so I'm glad we did that. But now I say we get into the main show topic at hand. Old school wrestler, come on, is what AJ said. I don't know. He sent me a photo. We're gonna have to see who this is before we get into the show here because I'm curious. Oh, okay. Look at this.
Wait, what's that?
Hold on. Baron von Raschke? Yo, that's bizarre, dude. He wears the same colors as you too.
What year? What WWE, WCW, WWF? What?
I don't know why AJ doesn't comment in the like why he's messaging me on the side about this. AJ just saying in the comments. Miss Carter maybe knows. Baron von Raschke was an old-time wrestler supposed to be from Germany, known for the Iron Claw. I guess that's why he's like this in the picture.
You got Iron Claw this shit right here. This is what you need, an Iron Claw right here.
Yeah, let's fucking go. Yeah. Oh my god. Gambit's Gallery. That's the first time. I don't think I've ever seen you. Welcome to my graveyard, my friend. Gambit is one of my favorite low-key superheroes. Love the card throwing.
Oh, that's I think that's Ian, bro. Do you know Ian?
No, honestly, I'm not too familiar with this. What does he do? Like Marvel movie reviews or toy reviews? Or
yeah. He does everything, bro. He used to be IWK, Ian Wrestling King.
I know him. Okay, I know Ian.
Yeah,
he's cool as hell. He's it was IWK 83, something like that. One of his channel.
Yeah, he's a big wrestling. He actually wrestled in real life, bro. So you know, for a bit, yeah, he did. So he would know who where the Iron Claw dude was from and shit, man.
Yeah, no. Miss Carter says AWA, and AJ finally commented, "All due respect, Mr. Steele." No, of course, man. I don't know. I was like, dude, that's actually pretty wild. But I actually really, I don't know. Do you know Marty? Do you watch a Trash Picture Show?
Yeah.
Dude, some of his figure reviews and stuff, I love that, man. I think that guy's the man. I'm such a nerd for all those like figure unboxing and shit like that. Like, I don't know, I'm a mark for it. But yeah, without further ado, I say we get into the main topic at the hand here. I guess we can do the one that you picked first. We basically this sort of fell into our laps. Originally, we were going to do a commentary for this, but instead we're going to review this and another movie. So without further ado. From the year 1985, this is Roberta Finley's Tenement, a.k.a. Rumble in the South Bronx, a.k.a. Game of Survival. I got to thank you before we get into this. Thank you for introducing this movie to me because this one fucking blew me away, man. Like inner city, exploitation, boobs, blood, and mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie was fucking fantastic. It's free to watch on Tubi for anyone who has not seen this movie before. But I hope we introduce this movie to a few new viewers here tonight because I'm really excited to talk about this one. What were some initial thoughts and first viewings like with this movie here?
I've seen it a while ago, bro. I don't know if this was something I seen like, you know, at the cinema around the block or if it was like something that my uncle ended up like renting from a VHS store. I feel like it was that though. I feel like the cover itself, probably a different cover back then. I don't know if this is the original artwork.
That is the original artwork. They had the writer paint it himself. Like that's actually done by him, and I think
that is a lost art within. Well, you know that within like the artwork for movies itself, because now it's just all computer generated shit. You know what I mean? And like heads floating and stuff like that. Yeah, but for me. Well, it just like felt like when I watched it, you know, for the first time, I can't remember how I was reacted to it the first time seeing it years and years ago. but I mean, I guess it felt more or less like home because I grew up in an area where there was tenement houses, and not to the extreme of this friggin' movie. Like
Good.
people, but there was, let's just say, like where I lived, there were characters very reminiscent of this, like just people kind of like out there and like with all the drugs and the crime and shit like that. But yeah, um so seeing it, like, you know, and I've watched it again throughout the years, and it just kind of like some of it brings back memories, and then other parts of it is just like I look at some of it now, and the actors, I love the people that live in the building, and I laugh at the actors that are playing the gang because I'm just like, some of the shit is just so over the top. It's funny, man.
It is. Yeah, no, and I think, you know, this movie, what really blew me away about it was how fucking raw it was.
Mm.
Like like the music in this movie is fantastic, but I think
Mhm.
some of the other aspects, when you don't hear the music, you can actually hear like outside cars going by and the sounds of the neighborhood, and like that to me is I mean, granted, I didn't grow up in the Bronx, but I
Mhm.
visited the Bronx quite a few times. Queens, Brooklyn, those are the
Mhm.
three boroughs I'm probably most familiar with, and probably Manhattan. But this movie is extremely like inner city and of that time. Like it reminds me a lot of Street Trash, but
Mm.
like if it was more, you know, exploitation and taking itself a little bit more seriously. And I dug the people that live in the tenement. Of
Mhm.
course, the lead here, I want to get his name right. Joe Lynn plays Sam, the lead actor in the tenement. He's like this single guy. He had a wife and kid.
Mhm.
They're no longer in the picture. I think this is a film of characters. Like you have a single lady, you have a woman that's pregnant, you have an elderly couple, you have an old Jewish woman who's been living in the tenement for 40 years and she won't let you forget it. And then on the other hand, you have the dynamic of the gang and the lead guy Chalco, who just I think is very fun and over the top. He had a great look to him.
Mhm.
He looked like a lead evil villain. The chick in this movie, oh my god, what I want to get her name right here. I got,
Ooh.
jeez, I forget her damn name. Was it Mina Byrne? No,
Uh,
forget her damn name.
Mina Byrne.
Mina Byrne. It was Mina Byrne. Okay, I was right. Mina Byrne. I mean, gorgeous, man. And there's some crazy scenes in this with her, and I fucking enjoyed. But like, this movie, it's a film of characters, and like, it almost
Mhm.
plays like a fucking video game. Whereas they enter the tenement, and at the bottom floor, and each floor they go up, the violence increases in this movie, and then
Mhm.
it just goes nuts. And that's why I really appreciated this film. Of course, there are tremendous amounts of violent sequences in this film, and this I read into this. This movie was X-rated
Mhm.
solely based on its violence, and that's got to
Mhm.
be one of the only times that's ever happened too. Because Roberta Findlay, the director, I looked into her history. She had directed a lot of like, you know,
Porn.
X-rated, you know, soft movies and shit like that, and then also some pretty kick-ass horror movies. Lurkers, one that she did before this, badass. But combining the two to me always works. I think a lot of, you know, X-rated filmmakers should come in to make exploitation horror because they're never ever going to hold back.
Right.
And this movie is one of those movies. It doesn't hold anything back. Like the first kill scene in this movie is a woman getting raped, and then she fucking stabs a guy, and then they shove a fucking broom in her vagina. Like
Yeah, they
holy
don't
shit.
they don't show the it going in, but like the lead up to it, and then the you know, the ultimate what happens. It's just like, yeah, it's and it's New York too, bro. It's 80s, it's mid 80s, it's fucking New York, and then like this shit actually there was an incident that actually happened, probably a few incidents, but there was a significant incident that happened where a dude got basically sodomized with a fucking broomstick, and it was all over the news. And yeah, that part for me was the hardest out of everything. That.
Me too. Me
Mhm.
too, completely. And like to me, starting off your film like that, or like that's like a half hour in, and I'm like, holy shit, like where do we go from here? I didn't expect that coming. I thought they were just gonna stab her or something, but like, and you're right, they don't show a lot of it, but it's so heavily implied, and like the actors getting killed does a really good job at like selling the terror. You're just like
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, like that would be a brutal way to go. But man, no, I don't know. Like, there's something about this movie that I just absolutely adore. But before we keep going into this, some comments. I'm going to use this as my profile pic sometimes now to mess with you, John. I'm showing everyone now.
Nice.
Anita said John Steele looked amazing in the photo. Yeah, no, the Iron Claw. John introduced me to Tenement. I'm in the same boat as you, Trench. Remember to subscribe. Oh, thank you, Brett. I appreciate that. Stab the. Oh, I accidentally dragged this thing too far. Hold on. Where were we? Stab the. Thank you for the. I appreciate that. Britt, 2 books is The Abusive Path to the Lyrical Ambiguity, and the other one is Noises Made Within in a Rift of Thought. Can't find the third one's name, but I have the 2 of them. Okay. Ben Grimm's in the house. Good brother Ben. Welcome to the graveyard, my friend. And Trenchy says this movie is crazy, over the top, but it still feels like real and kind of grounded. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Psych, nah. Yeah, no, you don't want to. This is not a movie for everybody. I would say that right off the bat too, because it is pretty fucking hardcore. But I appreciate how hardcore it was, and I appreciate that like everybody in the Tenement had their own little stories. And I think that this movie, it does a good job with pacing. It never really gets boring. And I really like the lead character, Sam. I think he was really cool. It was cool to see some diversity in there.
Like the dude that was like ex-military, like got the picture of his yeah. He was one of my favorites. Him and the lady who got sodomized, and probably for like shits and giggles, the super of the building, that guy. Remember the dude that was always drunk with his fucking dirty wife?
Oh yeah, no, him, that guy, yeah, that guy just asking to be killed the whole time. And you also have a blind guy. Like they covered every base of just to get like different characters and diverse characters, and like I really liked the whole group. And then basically this mano a mano gang versus Tenement, and like I don't know what it is about this movie, but it really feels of the era. And it's funny, like 1985, even by this time, I feel like it was a lot harder to make this type of movie then as opposed to it was in the 70s. This movie does feel very 70s at times, even though it is mid 80s. I don't know what it is about this movie, but it's fucking spot on with the area, the feel, the tone, grit, violence, all of that shit checks off for me.
Well, it's as real New York as you're gonna get, bro, with the fucking the beat down lots and the fucking burnt out like tenement buildings and shit. It's guerrilla filming at its finest, like an Abel Ferrara type of film too.
Definitely got some Abel Ferrara vibes. Of course, Driller Killer, that's another one that's like similar, like tone and feel. But I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this was a really cool one. Of course, you do have some fucking awesome scenes in this. You have a scene where the lead chick we were talking about, Mina Byrne, she's like really turned on, similar to like the Jeremy Rain character in Last House on the Left. She's like turned on by like sadistic shit. And she tells the lead guy, she's like, hey, like feel me up. And he has blood all over his hands after killing somebody. And he feels her up and like just blood, like, whoa, like you don't see that in movies a lot, man. But like she's literally getting off on the fact of that he murdered somebody. To me, exploitation done right, because it's like, okay, you have sex appeal, you have gore, and you're mixing the two and making it work with a horror psychology. Hard to do. But man, I think Roberta Findlay does a really good job here directing this movie. And it's funny because you think of the stereotypes that you would have with a woman directing a film. Like, and I'm sure, people think, oh, okay, a woman couldn't have possibly directed this. No. And that's the case with both of these movies. There's no way they would be this violent. There's no way it would be this sexual. There's no way that it would be this over the top. But it is. And I appreciate that she wasn't afraid to go that extra mile. I think that's really the main thing. My main takeaway from her direction was that she wasn't afraid to push the envelope. When you don't have a big budget, I think you've got to take chances. And I think she did. And unfortunately, her film was X-rated, probably hurt the release, the wide release. But man, I fucking really appreciate this movie. What are some of the other scenes you dig in this one, man?
The one basically, like you said, where they're going up the stairs, it's like a video game. We got to the second floor, now we're on the fourth, and it's like there's different shit that happens on each floor that the people live on. But let's talk about the fucking the junkie chick and the dude the dude that lived with her, like the dude that lived with her and shit.
Mhm.
Um, the funny shit to me was the John that comes walking up, like he's just belligerent about like anything. They're yelling out the window from the fucking window at him. They like, hey, don't come in here. Shit's like, no, don't like the lady who's basically a junkie and supporting her boyfriend and shit. Um, he's just steadily coming. Nah, I'll be up there. I'll be up there real soon, mommy. I'm coming. I'm coming. Like this, typical Puerto Rican dude from the neighborhood, right? And he's all decked out. He comes in, dude. He meets the gang in the stairwell and shit, right? And they're like, the girl, the Mina Burn chick, she comes up and she's like trying to like mess with him a little. He's like, hey, he thinks he's gonna maybe get something with her.
Score. Yeah, he lights her the cigar and shit. Like he
Mhm.
thinks he's about to score.
Yep. And then here comes the gang, and then they start taunting him, and then it turns into that they kill him. Yeah, they knife him.
It's brutal, dude. And like they do some really pushing the envelope stuff. They actually murder the blind man's seeing dog. They
Oh
don't do
yeah.
it on screen, but like he finds the dog and he's just like,
Mhm.
oh my God. Like that's like holy shit. Like when I saw this, I was like, damn, like they went there. They killed the fucking blind man's
What
dog.
the
Like
fuck was
that's
the
dark.
dog's name? Bongo or Bombo? Something like that. Bongo or Bombo. He kept calling him and shit, and like I felt bad because he was blind, and it's like that was his only like he lived by himself with the dog, dude.
That's a
So
true man's best friend. That dog literally fucking sees for him.
mm-hmm.
And fucking the terror and the sad like sorrow in the guy's voice, it's like you feel terrible. There's I think a really effective scene where, granted, it's a stupid thing that the character does. This one woman, that the old elderly couple, she goes down the steps by herself, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man, like you don't want to do that. I've not seen this before, but you don't want to do that, lady. She goes in the bathroom and then switchblade to the throat,
Oh yeah.
and they really linger on her bleeding out, and they tell the husband, and he's like, no, like she
Mm-hmm.
didn't go down there by herself, and they're like, she did. He goes down there slowly but surely. It's almost like he already knows, and he goes, he finds her, and just the heartbreak on his face, like just you're just like, damn, like fuck, like this movie really does heartbreak well. Like there's a lot of like, you're like, damn, well, you start to care about these people.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start being picked off, you're like, oh man. But I think it also really builds up the villains. And I love Chaco, the lead guy. He pretty much cuts a Spanish promo on them. El
Yeah.
viso es mío. Tonight, you all die. And
I'm
I
taking over
love
the
that.
building. Yeah, he was yeah. And you don't really, the only thing with this, you don't really get their like motivation for like they're just a gang that wants to be badass, you know what I mean? So there's no real motivation other than like to torment these fucking people in this tenement building and shit. And dude, the one scene for me like that, I was like that looks fucking real. If it's not real, that was done real well. Do you remember the one? They're all junkies, by the way, too. The gang, they all use drugs and shit. They're in the basement. Dude shoots up with the fucking needle, dude. And I'm like, puts the fucking the thing on and everything. And I'm like, I was telling who was it, Trench. I'm like, dude, that's a real needle, man. I'm like, I think he's actually putting that shit in his arm in this fucking film. So the bald headed fucking punk guy with the thing in his nose and shit.
Sure. Yeah, no, and like again, that's the thing that sets this movie apart from a movie that would never happen now. Like,
No.
there's so much in this movie that you would never ever see now. It's a different time, different game. No pun intended, a game of survival. This really is. This movie is it's a different game,
Yeah.
completely different era and time. And I don't know what it is about this movie, but I don't know. It's just really like I gravitated towards it, and I really liked the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, slight spoiler here for people who haven't seen it. I sort of wish the Sam character, he had been the hero. He gets shot. He doesn't die, but like he's not. He confronts them. They shoot him, and he goes down. And you don't really see him till the last frame. You see he limps out. They had this great scene in the roof in the rain with the
Mm-hmm.
lead pregnant girl and the lead heel, and they're just fighting each other. And oh my god, like that, the way that was directed was really, really well done. Like it reminded me of like Universal Soldier, the end of that in the rain with Lundgren and fucking Van Damme fighting in the rain, just fighting to the death. And this was really cool on the building, literally the
Mm-hmm.
top floor. Like this is the final battle, and the chick kills his ass, and
Mm-hmm.
like they walk out and you get that great score, like living in the streets. Like I don't know, this movie, man, all around, I just thought it was really solid, like a really good old school exploitation horror movie that had a little bit of everything. It had that horror psychology, like you were saying. There's not a lot of motivation, and a lot of people probably be turned off by that. But that's, to me, the point of they're just trying to establish themselves as a badass gang. It doesn't have to be motivation. It's just doing it for the sake of it. And to me, the psychology of that is far scarier than any, oh, we're after money, or, oh, we're after this, we're after that. Like, to me, that would have actually hurt it. But doing this, I think it really worked. And I don't know, Roberta Findlay, man, I want to watch more of her films after this. I've seen Lurkers. I've seen this. I would like to see some more, because I thought she did a kick-ass job with this movie. If you had to rate this out of 10, what would you give it?
Probably like a good 8.5, bro.
I would probably be in the same ballpark. I'll probably go with an 8. I really dug this movie. I thought it really had some good merit to it, and one I'm actually going to pick up on Blu-ray for sure. If you haven't seen it, free to watch on Tubi, so I highly recommend you check it out. John Steele's got the Blu-ray there.
Shriek Show has it. Shriek Show.
Yep. Yeah, for that artwork alone, I really want to buy it. Does it look to anybody else that Chaco has a fake chest in some scenes? Yes, there's a scene where they throw hot water on them, which is great. Like, they all burn. I think they're trying to do like the burn marks on them, and that's totally a fake chest. And when he gets stabbed at the end, totally a fake chest. That's at least what I thought. That guy's a dick, but he's so funny. I thought he gave a really good performance. I can get the actor's name here. Who played Chaco?
That's what's his name?
Enrique Sandino, Chaco the leader. He did a fucking banger job in this. Just like, to me, like looking the part. Like, he really looked the part. Like, they had the glasses. He would have fit right in the Warriors. Like just like, I don't know.
The bare chested vest and all this shit was all there, bro.
Yeah, it was totally inspired by it, but like, I don't know. This is definitely more of a horror version of that movie. Brits sharing. Okay, very cool. One of my favorite gang-related films is The Wrath. Yeah, no, The Wrath is a pretty banger film. With Carly Farragut directing and writing Revenge 2017. There's no doubt women can direct some serious violence. Yeah, no, and that's why I was really like blown away by this movie. It's like all the stereotypes of a woman directing a horror film are just completely blown out of the water if you watch this movie, because you're just like, wow, what crazy son of a bitch direct. Oh, Roberta Findlay, it's her, and she did a great job. Red Rusty, welcome to the graveyard. Last House on the Left is like a pre-Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that it is because it also includes the Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep prayer. I think Last House on the Left is a perfect exploitation movie, and it was the perfect, like, Nightmare on Elm Street's when he put that exploitation style into the mainstream. Taking the elements that he used in The Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the Left, and just making Nightmare on Elm Street mainstream. And I don't know, I think that Wes Craven was a true master, man. He's still missed. I kind of like the misdirection. It's not the big tough guy that saves the day. It's the pregnant woman, the old lady hell. Yeah, no, the scummy landlord, even to a certain degree. I don't know. I guess maybe because I really liked the Sam character, I wanted to see him be the hero. Like, I don't have a problem with her killing the last guy. I just think, like, I would have liked to have seen him been more bad. Like, maybe Ken Foree in Dawn of the Dead. Like, that would have been cool to me. But I mean, I liked the movie a lot. I don't know. I was like, when they shot him, I was like, damn. I was like, I thought he was going to be the hero. But I thought the lady on the rooftop, I thought she did a good job kicking ass and taking names. So
the funny thing to me about this film that I've always noticed is, like, I don't remember if the tenement building itself had any fire escapes, because I don't think it did. Right, and it seemed like a building without fire escapes, which is kind of odd in New York, especially for back then, that a building like that wouldn't have a fire escape. But I don't know if it did or not, because it didn't feature at all in the film. But I always thought it was weird, like, because they start like when like the video game shit, right, John?
Sure.
They're going up the stairs, but these motherfuckers are just putting, okay, here's a refrigerator. Remember the scene where the refrigerator goes and hits the dude?
No, they start barricading up and shit. It's great.
Yep. That shit was funny to me. And I'm like, why don't they just, like, go outside the building, go out one of the windows? Oh, I'll get to that. I'm sorry, bro. go to the windows and go down the fucking fire escape and escape while these dummies are coming up this. But there was no fire escape on the building. Because remember, the lady's crawling out on like on that little clothesline cord. I'm like, there's no way that shit is holding her, bro. There's no fucking way.
No, you know? No.
And then the chick is there with like fucking what, scissors or a knife, and she's cutting it. And then all of a sudden, like the lady who, like, she's the one that has kids. Remember, she has the 2 children.
Sure.
The boy, the girl.
Yeah.
She's the one trying to crawl out the fucking window and like on a clothesline of all things. You would think you tied like maybe clothes together and to the bed or whatever. But she climbs out on a fucking little clothesline. I'm like, this is not holding that woman's weight. And then the other woman comes and cuts it, like, you know, type of typical shit. And you see her fall to her death, basically.
Yeah, and it's like it's like, I don't know, it's comical. That was probably the funniest death scene in the movie. I was like, damn. No, the character's right. Like, earlier on in the film, there's a guy, he like cuts himself, and this lady's pissed that she's like, he gonna bleed all over my carpet. Like, she's so fucking pissed about it. She's like, you let this fucking guy, like, that's a fucking New Yorker. Like, that's like, I don't care that he's bleeding, he's in pain. I don't give a shit. He's gonna bleed on my carpet. Like, that's all she fucking cares about. I thought that was fucking great. Mateo asks us, do you think that Don't Torture a Duckling and the New York Ripper are exploitation, or they still stay in the giallo category? What do you think, man? You could take this one first.
I mean, I think giallo is exploitation as it is. I think giallo is a form of exploitation, you know, because a lot of those Italian movies are like funny to me, man. Like the giallo ones and shit. Like not all of them. Some of them are like, you know, like Suspiria and shit. But something like that's a little bit more comical, like that has that giallo feel, would be Burial Ground. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Love Burial Ground.
But you know, the Italians, they always have the giallo type of stuff, and somebody's getting fucking stabbed in the eye, or, you know, with like, I've shown a few people like some giallos. I showed Trench because he hadn't seen any. I forgot what that movie was that we watched, but he'll remember. But like I feel like there's like exploitation going on in just about all those giallo films, like to some form. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think it's funny. Like New York Ripper, it's very violent. It's definitely much more violent of a film than Don't Torture Duckling. Don't Torture Duckling, I think, is a masterpiece. Like, it's one of my, if not my favorite Fulci film. Wow. It's such a good movie. I think both of them have elements of giallo, but I think New York Ripper is probably more. It's like more of a violent, hardcore slasher giallo, as opposed to Don't Torture Duckling has a lot of psychology in there. Like, I love the scene.
New York Ripper, the one with the dude on the phone with the duck shit, like
Donald Duck, yeah, like the Daffy fucking, or Donald Duck, Daffy Duck, whatever the fuck. Yeah, no, that's New York Ripper, which you could get on 4K, which is fucking crazy to me. But Don't Torture Duckling, I always loved the scene where they think this one woman did it, and like they corner her in a graveyard and they beat her to death, and they're playing this like really beautiful Italian music, and it's like, I watched that and I was like, dude, Fulci just gets it, man. Just putting like a beautiful piece of music while this horrific scene is happening. I mean, the psychology there is great, but I don't know. I agree with
Alice, Sweet Alice. Do you remember?
I love Alice, Sweet Alice.
That's very giallo-like, bro.
That's an American giallo. It really is.
Yeah.
It's you know, instead of the Black Glove Killer, you have the yellow raincoat and the clear mask, and that era, like mid to late 70s, early 80s, that was like the time to experiment with films like that. And like Alice, Sweet Alice, I think is a great movie when it comes to like, you know, giallo exploitation, but in America. So it's like
inner city type of shit going on, same type of vibe, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, burning Brooke Shields alive in the opening 5 minutes. Like, you know, it's just, you don't, like what you're saying, you don't see that in films now. Blade in the Dark and Suspiria are two of the big ones you showed me. Oh, well, Blade in the Dark is another fucking, that's one of the most underrated movies of all time, in my opinion. Like, another one nobody fucking talks about, man, which is a damn shame. But yeah, no, so that is Tenement. We highly recommend.
One thing to add, John, if you don't mind, brother. I think I said something to you about this before, about how probably most of the actors in this film probably never went on to do anything else afterwards. I mean, other than one of the main gang members. You know him as the guy who stabbed the dude that came in, the John that came in and visit the prostitute.
Sure.
His name's Paul Calderon. Paul Calderon was considered for Jules in Pulp Fiction before
Wow.
Samuel Jackson was, and he also was in King of New York, Copland, Sea of Love, and he co-wrote Bad Lieutenant with Abel Ferrara, bro.
Really? I did not know that.
So he has the most extensive after that film with Roberta Findlay. So
Wow.
yeah, Paul Calderon.
Imagine he gets the Jules Winfield role. We're looking back on this movie going, holy shit, the guy who went on to be Jules Winfield, it's like that's Hollywood sometimes though, man. Like it's interesting, but that's pretty cool that he almost got the gig. That's and to co-write, dude, that's really cool. Copland's another movie that I fucking Sly, man, he kills it in that movie. I made the mistake of saying something to the effect of, I thought Giallo Italian was the same thing in a horror group. Suffice to say, I got educated quickly. Yeah, no, I hear that. But yeah, no, I understand how somebody could, if especially if the first time being introduced to it, could make that mistake. But that brings us to the second film of the evening. And man, I rewatched this a couple nights ago. I think this is one of the craziest movies of all. Like, this is one of the weirdest, craziest movies I've ever seen in my life. It is from the year 1987 from director Jackie Kong. This is Blood Diner from the year 1987. Quick plot synopsis. Two brothers are entrusted by their uncle to uphold the ritualistic cannibalism of the ancient cult of Shitar. In order to do so, they have to prepare a feast of sacrifice for the resurrection of their goddess. Yes, Blood Diner. And before we get into plot, thoughts, all this, one of my favorite all-time taglines. First they greet you, then they eat you.
Eat you, yeah.
Blood Diner. Fucking, I love that tagline. Like, that's like, I've got to get the one sheet, because the one sheet's awesome. Like the poster design of the knife holding up outside the diner, the bright neon lights.
Yep.
But again, I ask you, initial thoughts on this movie, because this is, I don't even know where we go with this. I mean, this is a crazy one.
Another one I seen like a while ago, probably like on video on VHS, because I used to hang with my uncle. We're going like more late 80s, so I'm definitely hanging with my uncle, and me and my brother with him on the weekend. This is probably something he rents, and probably like it's just like one of those movies you watch and you're like, what the fuck? Like, because it's very over the top, bro. It's nowhere near like Tenement, bro. Like Tenement is like a more serious film. This is just like gore and just fucking outlandish like outtakes, and it's fucking out there. It's out there, but it's fun. It's a fun film, bro. I
agree completely. It is a fun film. Britt loves it. I love the part where he's running over the person's head and nobody reacts. The one guy's like, hey, you all right? Like, the guy, clearly his head is not even there anymore. Hey, you okay, buddy? Like, bizarre.
That's not the only run over scene. Remember, he keeps running over the fat dude that's laying, and the guy don't die, so he just runs him over like 5 or 6 more times. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, I got to be honest, I went into this film sort of ignorant because I thought I knew what it was going to be about. Like, hearing the tagline, first they greet you, then they eat you. Okay, I know what type of movie. I was thinking more cannibalism, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 type of movie. And I mean, you about 10 minutes in, you're like, okay, wait a minute, this is not that movie at all. And I appreciate that. I was so happy that it wasn't that type of movie. It has that setup. It has that, cover, if you will, on the book, but the book on the inside, completely different thing. The two brothers in this, of course, Rick Burks and Carl Crew, they do a really good job. Their uncle comes to visit them and their kids, and he has a meat cleaver in one and his genitals in the other. Fucking funny ass as the news bulletin. He goes outside, gets fucking blasted away by the cops, and then years and years later, they go to dig him up, pop his brain out, and then they put his brain in a jar. The fucking brain has eyeballs. Like, just outlandish, absolutely crazy as this movie goes along with these two brothers in the diner trying to basically kill, whores and prostitutes and all these things. So in order to give a rebirth to Shitar, the god they worship. But This movie, man, just does everything fucking crazy. Like, it has everything in it. It really does. Like, it does have the cannibal horror. Like, you have one guy who shows up from the IRS. Oh, I'll need to be checking your books. And like, oh, we're out of fish fingers. Okay, they cut his fucking fingers off, put him in the deep fryer, and serve him right then and there. Like, just crazy. Like, what the hell, man? And I think this movie, the best thing about it is its pace. This movie never slows down. Like, it is a quick ass movie, maybe an hour, 25 minutes without credits.
Yep.
Never got bored with it. Never slows down. And it never ceases to make you go, what the fuck? Like, wait, what? Like, I don't know, man. Like, what are some of your favorite scenes in this one? Because this is just like a bizarre film.
I think one of my favorite things about the whole film is the fucking, well, it's a vegetarian diner, but they're cannibals who are like serving people fucking other people, right? But it's supposed to be a vegetarian diner in LA now, so it's in LA and Hollywood. And fucking there's like another restaurant around the corner that does the same thing, and it's this guy who owns it, and he's like kind of like the rival of them type of shit. He wants to know their like their fucking recipe. Whoa, how did he get in all the customers and shit? But he's got a fucking mannequin, like a fucking dummy mannequin that he's got dressed up, and he talks, he ventriloquists the thing, and it's just a fucking mannequin thing sitting there that he's got at the stool to like make people believe that there's an actual customer in his spot, and there's not. And I think that the thing of throwing the voice into that mannequin, and then one of the brothers from the Blood Diner does the same thing when they steal the mannequin and shit like that. So that thing was fucking funny to me, like the whole thing with that and shit, man.
Yeah, no, and like the mannequin, like that happens out of nowhere. Like they're just sitting and it just starts talking. And I'm like, I remember the first time I watched this, I'm like, bro, am I losing my mind? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that thing just shows up and Brit saying the same thing. That's so creepy. The mannequin, what the fuck? Like, that was a creepy ass mannequin, man. Like, I don't know what it was about it, but it creeped me out too. And like, I don't know. I appreciate this film's sense of humor. You, of course, the Carl Crew, the brother, he's like obsessed with pro wrestling and he wants to wrestle and shit. And they have this fun wrestling battle scene where he takes a bite of the guy's fucking leg because he's getting his ass kicked. Like, very fun. And he's being over the top. And I love there's this one fat customer that comes in there. They call me Vitamin C. And he's like fucking critiquing him at one point or something. And he puts him in a chokehold, like to practice. And this guy just starts barfing burger all over people. There's no like nobody sells it or anything. It's just like, and it goes on to the next scene. Like, this movie it's like almost a movie of random scene compilations. There's a scene where all of a sudden you see all these women naked doing aerobics. And this guy comes in a Ronald Reagan mask and starts fucking blowing them all away with a fucking Tommy gun. And I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, this is a movie within a movie. This is something like a movie somebody's watching in the movie, right? No, that's the movie. And you're just like, wait a minute, what? Like, he just shot all these people. And like, all right, we need 3 stomachs, 8 tongues. And they're getting all the instructions from the brain in the jar, which is great. I mean, the brain in the jar is just always angry at them. Stop fucking around, has a little accent. I think the sense of humor Jackie Kong brings this film is great, because I think they knew what type of movie this wanted to be. Because on paper, I went into it thinking, okay, standard cannibal blood diner movie. Okay, what do you got? But no, it's anything but the standard, and that's why I really always appreciated Blood Diner. It gives you so much more than what you think you're going to get. Believe it or not, the initial idea for this was written like 20 years before this came out. This was initially a script written to be the sequel to Blood Feast, of course, Herschel Gordon Lewis's film.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it is similar plots. Like it's that film and this film do have similar plots. But I think the thing about this movie is it's a very much more 80s version of what Blood Feast would have been. Blood Feast is very early 1960s and the Crayola blood and Herschel Gordon Lewis and trying to be serious, but being so over the top that it's funny. This is like, it knows what it's going to be. So it's a different type of sense of humor. I couldn't believe this. I don't know if you saw this, read into this. There were 2 people that were initially considered for the roles of the brothers. One of them, Michael Berryman. The other one, George the Animal Steele. Could you imagine if those 2 were the lead 2 in this movie? Like, they were going to be the brothers.
bro, it's too fucking dude. Listen, man, that shit you couldn't sell it comedic because they're two fucking crazy looking bald dudes, right? There's no way this would have been as comedic as it was have you had those two, because I think they should have sold it more like a hardcore horror with those, because Berryman, it's fucking The Hills Have Eyes, dude. Like,
Yeah, and
and
the real
George the Animal.
deformity.
Yeah, yeah. If you was to remake it, John, would you do it like as whimsical, or would you do it like more hardcore, like a more hardcore?
I mean, that's a multi-part question right there. I would say number one, I don't think I would try to remake it. Like, I think there's only one person, one time, one place that could have made Blood Diner, and it was Jackie Kong in 1987. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
But I guess I would try to make it more serious, but then that's my style. That would be my tackling of it. But like the whole charm of this movie is the sense of humor, and it is the over the topness. I mean, you have a woman in this movie that gets her head deep fried, and they pull it out, and her head is just like a giant fucking like meatball, and they fucking whack her head off. Like that happens in this movie. Like everything you could think happens in this movie. It's wild. But I would probably try to go more realistic with it and stuff like that. But I agree with you. I think you make a really good point. As much as I love Berryman and George the Animal Steel, this was around the time he was feuding with like Macho Man Randy Savage. Like at 87, that was like WrestleMania 3. So like you're having George the Animal Steel, and then that was when Steamboat fought Savage in like that great WrestleMania match. So that would have been really cool to me to see those two together. But I don't know of those two guys which one would have really delivered the lines, because Curl Crew in this movie, he doesn't have that much dialogue. Rick, I think his name's Rick Burks. Yeah, Rick Burks. He really is the talker of the two. And I don't know about you. Do you get any Adam Green vibes from him? He looks exactly like Adam Green to me.
Yes.
I don't know, but and dude, sad story about him. We got to get into Rick Burks because he had a fucking tragic.
Is that the Rick Burks is the dark-haired brother, right? Not the
dark-haired brother.
Yep.
And he delivers a lot of lines in this. I don't know if Berryman or George Steele. Like, I guess Berryman would have probably been the choice to try that, but I think this guy did a really good job. Like Rick Burke, because he looks, suave enough, and he's like hypnotizing this one girl at a point, trying to get her to come. I don't think Berryman or Steele could have done that. Like, they're just not that tight.
No, they didn't have the. They didn't have the chops for it, bro. Well,
no,
Berryman maybe, but like I said, Berryman to me, because we had already seen him in The Hills Have Eyes, so it's like, well, what the fuck is this guy doing in this like kind of like whimsical horror movie type? You know what I mean? Like I don't think it would have sold as well as it did with these two actors that played the brothers, bro.
I agree completely. And I think that they both do a really good job. I like their chemistry in it. And they do give the sense of them being, you killed my brother. Like they really are like loving bros. And I really like their chemistry in the film. But sad thing, I had to mention this about Rick Burks, is I looked into this. I was like, damn, like, why didn't this guy go on to do more? So this is a really sad story. Rick Burks and the producer of this movie, I want to make sure I get his name here. Bear with me one sec. What the hell is the producer's name? Because they were in a band together. And this is here. I'm loading in the cast and crew here. Where the heck is the producer? Produced by Jimmy Maslin. He was a producer of this film. They were in a band together. And crazy enough, they were joyriding like a year after this movie came out, joyriding together. Maslin was driving under the influence, and they fucking drove into a tree or something. And Maslin got out of the car and left Burks in the car. He didn't go to help him and shit. And Burks died that night in the accident. And I don't know if the producer did time or anything like that, but it's fucking crazy to think about. Like, they were best buddies, driving in the car, made this movie. And I wonder what would have been for Rick Burks, because like I think he did he's definitely the performance of the movie. I think he does a really good job selling the fun and the terror and driving the humor home. So I just thought that was a tragic story when I read that. I was like, damn, like what
he's
a shame.
Like the brains of the two brothers, the other brothers, the Braun and the cook, by the way, in the film. Like he's this. And that dude he's chefing it up, dude. This motherfucker can create some cool shit. Like that looks pretty good if it wasn't people, but he's chefing it up, bro. You know?
Sure, the fingers, the burgers, like, and the guy's like, "Oh man, this is the best veggie burger I've had, and I've had a lot of them." You know, and he's like, "All right," you know, like I thought it was a good dynamic they had, and you know, like a perfect tag team in a weird way, like the brains, the brawn, and it worked that way. It really did. Let's see. I think Little Jimmy Hitler is one of my favorite jokes of the movie because it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, for real. That's a yeah, no, I mean Papa Shango, maybe. I don't know. Has Papa Shango debuted in WWF at this time? I'm not sure. Mateo. Michael Berryman, George the Animal Steel would have been insane, especially if the Animal was still in kayfabe. You know, if he was still in kayfabe, he would have had to play the other brother, like the Braun brother.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know. I like the Carl Crew. I think he did a good job. Oh, thank you, Britt. I don't know what I said that was funny. Oh shit, that sucks. Yeah, no, it does. I was reading that. I was like, damn, like what a shame. The guy died at 28 years old. So rest in peace, man. Because like that guy, I thought he was really talented. I thought, you know, he was a big reason why I liked this movie. But Jackie Kong, man, going into her, she didn't direct too much, and this is this is actually her last film. Like this and another movie she made the same year were her last two movies that she did, which is a shame. And she said that when people saw this, she expected more jobs and more offers and stuff like that. And then it was the discrimination, or I guess the misogynistic view of, you know, they didn't expect a woman to walk through the door. They thought Jackie Kong was a man. And when she came to they were like, wait a minute, you're the one that directed Blood Diner? You're a woman? Like, holy shit. And she claims that whole thing sort of ended her career. She didn't get to work much after this, which is a damn
Asian woman too in cinema early on, dude, too. So fucking kudos to her for she also did Night Patrol, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, which is another movie. If you watch Night Patrol and you watch Blood Diner, you'll get the kind of, it's the same vibe, that weird comedy, that fucking, yeah. But Night Patrol Night Patrol for me with her is probably, I like the Night Patrol better than Blood Diner, but I like both, bro. You know,
I like her, and I watched interviews with her. She seemed like the nicest lady in the world. I feel bad that she didn't get to do more. Like this was a really fun movie, and like a throwback to, like I was saying, Herschel Gordon Lewis movie in the 60s, but having that 80s spin on it. To me, I thought was just a breath of fresh air, and I would have loved to have seen what she would have brought in the 90s and in moving forward. It's just a shame that the film industry at that time, like you said, it was rare air for Roberta Findlay or Jackie Kong to come out and make horror or exploitation movies. You know, and these two movies sort of go against the grain and the stereotype of what a woman-directed horror film would be. Both these movies have crazy violence and gore and over-the-topness, and you know, I'm all for it. That's why I really appreciate and like both these movies. But Blood Diner is just, I don't know, man. This is like one of the craziest movies of all time to me. Like I watch this, it's like I could see there being a big cult audience for this movie because it's all over the place. Like there's kung fu. Like there's a scene where this couple they're having sex and Carl Crew goes to get one of them and she fucking kung fu's the shit out of him. And all of a sudden, this fucking rock comes and falls off and just gets her right in the head and goes like, what? Like, what the hell, man? Like, absolutely fucking bonkers. Like, some of the scenes in this just never cease to amaze me. It's just like, you're like, fucking holy shit. Like,
oh, you talking about when they go to get the chick and she's having sex with her boyfriend and they knock him out and then she's naked. You see full fucking bush, by the way, like full frontal, and she's
mow that lawn, mama.
She's kung fuing this fucking dude in like this cave area or like some park or what, and like John said, the thing just comes and falls. I was just like, oh my god, man, this is nuts.
Yeah, but let me ask you, because you asked me this question. What would you have done? If you had to remake this? Like, would you take serious route, fun route? Like, what would you have done? Like, was there something you would have changed?
I don't think. See, that's the thing, brother. Like, I don't think you can do fun like that, like it was done back then. No. You know what I mean? Like it's a different culture now with movies, and it's a different, people almost want that hardcore gore. Like if you look at the last TCM movie and shit, it's just like, bro, I was like, what the fuck? Like way super over the top with some of the shit. But I mean, on the other hand, that is what people want to see in a chainsaw massacre movie, but it's just like the way I don't think we can capture. It has. I think would have to be done hardcore nowadays. I don't think you can capture that same silliness they had back then. Plus, again, New York doesn't exist like it did in Tenement, and L.A. does not exist like it did in Jackie Kong's fucking this movie and shit, Blood Diner and shit. So
sure. Sure, that's a great point, and Britt agrees. Fact still, I agree too. You're right. Like, it's funny how eras and time and all of these things play just the biggest of factors into what a film becomes. Like we were saying, there's no way you can make an exploitation film like Tenement now. There's no way I don't think you can make a horror comedy or a comedy horror like Blood Diner now. Horror comedies now are so few and far between to me. Like, I feel like you don't see them that much anymore. To me now, they're way more comedy than horror. Like, they don't get. But this movie, I really like the elements of horror it has. Like I think, there's one the guy that you were saying, the competition. They cut off both his arms, and he just starts driving with no arms. Like, he's bleeding all over the place, and he doesn't even sell it. He's not like usually you think he'd be screaming in pain. He's like, all right, I gotta get out of here. And then he just fucking crashes off the road. And he's just like, wait, what the fuck? What? Like,
that was the guy that had the dummy and shit. The dummy in his diner and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, him, the mannequin and shit. Wait, what let's talk about the club scene, John. What the shit that goes on in the club is probably the most crazy out of everything else to me, man. Just like there's a band. It's a punk band, so it's like an LA punk scene, but it's the late 80s, so I don't know how poppin' punk was then. I know early 80s probably, but this dude with like this fucking pompadour like out to here on stage, and his two bandmates are dressed up like Hitler and they're playing the guitars and shit, and it's just like, okay, we had Jimmy Hitler, the wrestler, and now we got these fucking Hitler guys on stage. Like, I don't know, Jackie Kong had some type of Hitler stuff theme on for this movie or whatever, but I guess that goes along with the punk scene too, so to speak, with in LA. I don't know about in New York, but I mean, I'm in definitely in LA type of shit. But like, I just you know what though, because like I like history and everything. They talk about Egyptian, the thing bringing Shitar back, right?
Shitar.
But the way it's explained, they say Lemuria and Atlantis. I'm like, okay, Lemuria, Atlantis, Egyptian. What are we going with here? Like, that's the only thing I was just like, yeah. But it's to be taken lighthearted, bro. You're not supposed to really put too much thought into it and shit. It's a fucking fun popcorn movie.
It is. It's a turn your brain off movie. And like, I love the final scene in the club, and basically all these people are turning, and if they're eating the intestines, they turn green in the face, and they're having the whole seance on the stage, and there's the cops, the pair of cops that are trying to stop the whole thing. But I gotta say, even for a cheesy movie like this, makeup effects fucking good. The design of Shitar is actually quite fucking horrific. The teeth, the fucking Videodrome, like fucking opening, like fuck, like you're like, damn. And they make it, instead of the Videodrome, it's small, like you put your hand in. This, it's like her whole fucking chest would open up like a Venus flytrap or something. And it's like, it's fucking a really good effect. And they have this whole final battle, and I have a fun time with that club scene at the end. Like, it's the perfect crescendo ending to this movie, because it's like, this movie the entire time is at 60 miles per hour. I mean, it really never slows down, and the ending is perfect. I didn't mind the two like cop characters. I thought they were okay. They're doing this thing at the beginning where he's like, he likes her and he gives her, bro, the funniest scene ever, dude. Like, he's like, okay, this is Deputy Dick Ass or whatever. And he just starts giving her tongue action. Like, doesn't that work? He's just like, for fucking like 4 minutes straight. And she's like, looking him up and down, like, you gonna put that tongue back in your mouth, buddy? Like,
hey, are we gonna talk about how this chick looks like Janet Jackson, bro? And her fucking name is Jackson. She's her cop name is Jackson. Her last name in the film is Jackson, and she looks
really? I fucking missed that. Yo, what? We gotta get the actress's name here because she did look like Janet Jackson. And I was like, yo, like where the fuck is her name is Sheba Jackson in this movie.
Come on, man.
Lynette LaFrance is the actress's name. Yo, that is fucking hilarious. And like, what's crazy is you're right. She the same Janet Jackson eyes, and like I'm like, yo, where the fuck is Justin Timberlake at to fucking rip this kid's fucking yits out, man? I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, but yeah, no, totally. And like she's sort of the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
Cool enough.
Yeah.
And the partner grows on you because he's eventually just like, all right, maybe I shouldn't have given you all that tongue action, lady. Like maybe, so they sort of come together towards the end and prevail. But Sheetar gets away, if you will, which I don't know. Like some of the acting in this, I don't know if it's like purposely bad or purposely like the guy in the car trying to pick her. He's like, hey, baby, you want to have a good time? Like he has no fucking. Like none. He's like, hey baby, why don't you get in this car? And we'll go back to my place. Like he has nothing. Like
I'm gonna give you my big sausage and shit. He says some shit like, I'm gonna give you my big sausage and shit. And then like
he's like, before I put my sausage into you, what's your fucking name? I'm like, yo, that's not a good pickup line, brother. Like, yeah, like I don't know.
Can we talk about like
sure.
the women in this? Yeah, there was a lot of yiddies in this one, more so than in Tenement. Tenement just had 2 yiddies.
Yeah, but there were some good yiddies though with blood on them.
Tenement had the better yiddies, I would say, than Blood Diner. But Blood Diner, there was like I think one that was nice in Blood Diner, but like dude, I'm like, where the fuck did they get some of these chicks? Like I think they just went to like maybe some of the fucking dive bars and like picked like, all right, you honey. You or these women may have been part of the crew of the movie because they do that a lot in films. You know what I mean? Like them background characters.
Sure.
Oh, like Johnny, you're gonna run the camera and you're gonna be in the club scene too, type of shit. But I'm sure that happened, especially early on with like lower budget films and shit. But the club shit is just is fucking wild, dude. Like the whole thing. And how people like become cannibalistic because like we didn't talk about how the Blood Diner, the brothers give the club promoters, the guys that own it, it was the Asian dude and the fucking skeevy looking guy. They give him like a fucking thing like this, full of like these pill looking things, but it's this is drugs supposed to increase the appetite and shit. It just starts turning all these fucking people into like cannibals and they start like killing each other and eating each other and shit. Like fuck, man.
Yeah, no, this like I was watching this, I couldn't help but think like Frank Henenlotter would have made a movie like this, but like
Frankenhooker, bro,
the super crack and the fucking like Frankenhooker is great. You know, fun story. My dad, Frankenhooker is from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
my dad knew her, like she was in the neighborhood, and so like we're at a family party, and I'm a little kid. And he goes, hey, he knew I liked the horror movies. He goes, let me introduce you to a celebrity. I'm like, oh my God, And it was Patty Mullen who plays Frankenhooker. And he was like, this is Frankenhooker. I was like, Frankenhooker? I was a little kid. I'd never seen it before. And of course I got home and I wanted to watch Frankenhooker at a young age. And nothing, like people tell you nothing could prepare you for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nothing could prepare me for what the fuck Frankenhooker was, man. I was like, oh my God, like this fucking just wild movie. And I don't know. I love Frank Henenlotter. This had a lot of, his, I don't know, influence behind it to me.
Yes.
But I think Jackie Kong made her own. I really like
it. Oh yeah, definitely. It was very LA versus like New York. You know what I mean? You could it's not drastic the difference, but enough to where you're like, you know what I mean? Like the vibe is different, New York and LA. You could tell back then with
the two parallels, like these two movies. Like you have one that's gritty inner city South Bronx, and then this movie is just like it's Hollywood. It's a Hollywood street corner.
Like Hollywood Boulevard, trashy, like fucking people, like yeah.
And they both do a good job at like capturing the fucking weirdos like of both areas. Perfect, I think.
Oh yeah.
It does a good job. Mateo said you talked about it last week, but Tucker and Dale has a good balance. I would agree with that totally. Deputy, what I call him, Deputy Dickass. I don't know his fucking name. Deputy Dickass and fucking Latoya Jackson. You got to get a group together and watch a horror comedy. Some live would be a blast, dude. Absolutely, anytime, man. Yitz. Maybe we can Trenchy join us one of these days.
Oh yeah.
I agree, AJ. I was just thinking of asking these dudes to do like a horror roundtable. It could be even be an upload. Oh no, we can do it live. Absolutely. I've been wanting to do another roundtable. So somewhere down the road, I want to do another roundtable soon because we've done 2 of them and they were both fucking fun. Roundtable with like, horror lovers from YouTube discussing certain topics. It could be beneficial and insightful. The other 2 we did were great. I did one with Night Watch, Coriander and Rainbow. They were great. And I did one with AJ, Jeff from Fright Bites, and fucking Don, and they were all really good. So round number 3, third time's the charm. I'd love to do a third one.
Oh yeah.
Still got to see Frankenhooker. Haha, I love Brain Damage and Basket Cases. That's another movie that gets that New York.
Oh,
the apartment he's living in, fucking perfect. Like that's New York City.
Yep. The fucking man. That movie is just something else, man. What do you think that? What would be a good pairing? I guess Tenement and Blood Diner. I mean, they're not drastically different. You have the same type of menacing stuff. That, as far as like what the horror is different. But what do you think would be like? Would Frankenhooker or something along those lines be a good pairing with Blood Diner? Because I can think they're kind of like you got New York, you got LA, but they're still kind of that trippy, silly horror type of shit, and effects, and the hookers fucking blowing up in the apartment, dude, is always like top notch for me with that shit, bro.
Me too. Yeah, the super crack scene is the fucking best scene in Frankenhooker. Like, let's be honest. And like, I think they probably would go together perfectly because they're both tongue in cheek. They both know what they are. But I think, they both have a certain charm. Like there's certain. I don't know how to explain this, but like I feel like there are certain, especially more now, where horror comedies they go too for the comedic. And it's like and maybe a horror comedy is only as good as its humor. Like I don't know. I guess I'm more picky with horror. Perfect example. What was the fucking zombie movie that came out and it had like an all-star cast, like Bill Murray and Adam Driver?
It was Zombieland.
No. Zombieland I really liked. That was
yes. Oh fuck, man. What's her name was in it too?
Selena Gomez was fucking in it.
Bro,
I forget the name of it.
I didn't like that movie.
Neither did I. I thought the humor was bad. I was like, shit, like it missed everything. It wasn't gory enough. It wasn't violent enough. It wasn't funny enough. It was like this. It was a type of movie going for this, but it's just flat. And the pacing was in it.
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton was in it too. I fucking don't remember.
Yeah, maybe. She was the one that kind of like was like that magical broad dude. Like she had longer hair in it, I think.
Yeah, the Dead Don't Die. I think that's
didn't like it.
To me, a prime example of a movie where I saw the trailer, I went, look at the fucking cast. Holy shit. They're going to have Selena Gomez show her yits and get bitten in the neck in this movie. No, that doesn't fucking happen. Like, okay, well, at least Adam Driver is going to play an asshole cop. He's going to get his. No, that like everything you would want out of a horror zombie comedy with an all-star cast, and you just don't. But you got Bill fucking Murray, and you didn't do anything. Like, I don't know. Like, I watched that movie, and I just was like,
it was boring a lot in some spots, man. It seemed like too heavy, if that makes sense. Like there was an air of heaviness on it that never lifted, and it's just like, all right, let's get to the shit, and I don't know, I didn't like it. So
I think that's the biggest criminal offense that a fucking horror comedy can make is be fucking boring. Like you can have horror movies, old school horror movies, like you want talking 70s slow burn haunted house, that I get if you want to be a little slow in the beginning to set the tone, right? Leave a half hour, 40 minutes of slow burn. I get that. But horror comedy shouldn't have slow burn in it to me. Like you should be just like Blood Diner. From Blood Diner, the opening 5 minutes has a man being gunned down in front of his nephews. And then the next minute they're digging up his grave, popping out brains, getting cursed at by a brain in a jar. Like it's just all fucking over the place, and it never slows down. It's just crazy. Like, I don't know. There's something about this movie that just has that charm. It never stops. Like, I think a lot of horror comedies miss it now. They don't. I don't know what it is about the humor. It just misses me.
Have you ever seen Neon Maniacs?
Neon Maniacs. Was that Nicholas Winding Refn, or is that the Neon Demon?
No, Neon Demon. No, that's something different. Neon Maniacs is also another late, I believe late 80s horror film. Kind of not as like heavy with the silliness as Frankenhooker or like Blood Diner. More like somewhere in between those two. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and very just it's a little bit slow burn in some spots, but it's over the top a little bit, and it's one that I feel pairs well with certain other movies of that era and shit. But if you get a chance, it's probably another one that's on like Tubi or some shit, man. It could be, you know, but get it.
Sure. No, I would like to check that out. No, like I'm always down to watch horror movies like this, like horror comedies like this, because it's like for all the serious stuff that I watch, it's nice to have a popcorn movie like this, you know, because Tenement, I'll be honest, I watched Tenement, I was like, damn, like that's a fucking powerful film. You watch Blood Diner, it's like, okay, like now it's like it's a good relief and release from, you know, and it's fun, you know, it is fun. It has a lot of things going for it. But you're right, two different completely movies, you know, but there are also some parallels there. Like we were saying, the New York, Hollywood, you know, both female directors, exploitation, horror, gore vibes. I mean, definitely all that stuff is in there, and I think they work in their own way. But if you had to rate Blood Diner out of 10, what would you give it?
I mean, not basing it off any like, you know, trying to give it any awards or anything, but like for fun and like, you know, rewatchability, I'll give it about the same, bro, like an 8.5, because just for that, not because it's the better movie, but you know, for fun and just to watch something like stupid and funny and fun, turn off your brain. 8.5, yeah, Blood Diner.
I'll probably go 7.5. I think this one is fun. It has that rewatchability factor. It's definitely like a quick movie. It would be a fun movie to watch with a group of friends, I think. Like if you get people to be like, it's like, dude, you have to experience Blood Diner. It's one of those like you show it to people and you're like, they have no idea what they're walking into. It's just like such a fucking weird movie. And like, I don't know. I appreciate how weird and fun it is and how it's pretty much in on the joke with you. I think that's the main thing. And I think Jackie Kong did a good job. And like I said, it's a shame she didn't go on to direct really anything else. Like this movie, it's funny. I think it should have catapulted her career. And in a way, you know, this ended her career, which is, it's sad when you think about it. But I mean that it's a shame. Britt says, I think both you guys' ratings of Blood Diner is on par with what I'd give it. Yeah, 7.5 to 8.5. So that's we average around at 8. So it's a fun fucking movie in my opinion. But man, is there anything else you want to talk about on here? Because I'd be down to talk for a little bit longer if you are.
Yeah, we fucking breeze through it, man. Like, you know, when it's something fun and that you both relate to, yeah, that's what I think. Blood Diner would pair well with what the fuck is this movie? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's like along the same lines of it. I think I was telling somebody about it, like you or Trench, like another pairing well with this film. It's got that same kind of vibe and like very quirky type of shit. But I think for me, like Jackie Kong, Night Patrol is one of my favorite like early 80s comedies because it's just so. Have you ever seen it?
Which movie?
Night Patrol.
No, I have not seen Night Patrol. No, I would like to. I believe it's on Tubi too.
Not sure, but if you go watch that, you'll definitely be able to kind of like see how Jackie Kong like made the, you know, like a few adjustments and then went to the Blood Diner. Although I would say Blood Diner is way more over the top than Night Patrol. But yeah, LA, it's that LA vibe again, you know, and shit like that. But that's if you want to watch another Jackie Kong film, that's another good one. But you was talking about Lurkers. Or was that Roberta Finlay?
That's Roberta Finlay.
Yeah. That's one I need to revisit because I don't think I've seen that one in a while.
Bro, fucking good one. I don't have a physical media copy of it, but I really want to pick up Lurkers and Tenement because like I really liked both those movies from what I remember. I don't know. Have you seen Liquid Sky?
Sounds very familiar, bro.
Yeah, weird one. Weird. I know, obscure, but like that gave me Tenement vibes as well. Just the drug vibe in it, like totally. Like to me, like Tenement is like the look of a street trash with Liquid Sky, like the drug influence, and then it's like right. And to me, it's like if those two met, fucked, and had a baby, it's Tenement. You know, Game of Survival Rumble in the South Bronx. Like to me, it's a. AJ says Night Patrol is an epic childhood favorite, so AJ's a big fan. Mateo asks you, John Steele, top 3 horror movies, brother.
Top my all-time favorite horror movie is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors. That's my all-time favorite. I got a lot. I got a lot of history with that one. A lot of history. So yeah. Fuck. Number two. Man, I'd have to get back to you on that one because there's so many, bro, and that's like I've been deep in the horror game for like so long, man. Like that's the majority of what my collection was and shit. So but yeah, man. Fuck two. I guess okay. Uh, that's my all-time favorite horror movie, which is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. But my second favorite, no, my fourth favorite movie of all time is Teen Wolf, the first one, Teen Wolf, the OG. So if I was to say Nightmare on Elm Street and then Teen Wolf would be the second one. Third, man, fuck, I don't know, because I like a lot of shit like this, John. I like a lot of obscure shit that people don't talk about much, and like,
yeah, you have a good variety. Like you've seen shit that I haven't even heard of. Like you have a great
oh,
variety.
I love it. I would love to fucking just give you shit to be like, hey, go watch this, dude, and fucking.
Dude, feel free. I'm always down to watch new shit I haven't seen, especially from this era. Like people recommend me, like they're like, oh, you got to watch this fucking movie that went straight to Hulu or straight to here, and I'm just like, like I don't have any of those. Like
Ooh.
I like to buy my shit.
I got one for you. Blood sucking pharaohs in Pittsburgh.
I was gonna say blood sucking freaks. I was gonna say I love blood.
That's another fucking great one, bro. Yeah.
I covered that one on the exploitation explosion. Blood sucking freaks, fucking crazy movie where they're selling women and playing darts. They're playing darts on their ass cheeks. Fucking Ralphus. I love blood sucking freaks. That's like
that's one that you pair with Blood Diner. Blood sucking.
Sure.
Blood sucking pharaohs in Pittsburgh with Blood Diner. That's a fucking perfect pairing right there, bro. Wait, is that real? What a title.
Which one?
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
Blood sucking pharaohs? Yeah, no. Yeah. That is real, Britt. Totally, that is real. Trenchy said he thinks he watched Liquid Sky. Okay. I appreciate those later, like I don't know. Are you a fan of Jeff Lieberman, like Blue Sunshine, shit like that? Like just weird late 70s fucking psychological trippy horror, like that's
I'm into that like more because I like shit that makes me like think, bro. You know what I mean? That's why I'm a writer. I like shit that makes me think more so than like the Blood Diner. But like you said, you need to shut the fucking switch off sometimes and be like, hey, let's just have fun and watch this dumb shit.
Yeah, a little fucking levity. Like it goes a long way because if it's too much of the other, it'll burn you out, I think, and yes. But it's funny, like that's the thing too, where we mentioned, actually, it's funny enough on the roundtable with Knight. Somebody said like, oh, what is a big reason, we like horror? Somebody brought that up. And all of us mentioned movies that had more psychology to it. Like Coriander said, she really gravitated towards Carrie because of the bullying themes, and she had been bullied. And like, that's really a big reason when she saw, there's horrors in that movie, but it's really the horrors of bullying. That's really a big thing. And I said Friday the 13th, the whole idea of the mother losing her son. And like, that's really the true, she wasn't going to let that happen again. Like, to me, it's like when you add that extra layer, and you add so much more to just a horror movie, because that's a lot of people, they look at it like it's one dimensional, but horror can be so fucking three dimensional. Oh, and that's the thing that I try to convince people of, but only if they listen.
Oh, Trench said, not the whole thing, but some of it. I think I fell asleep. Liquid Sky. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a really like trippy drug movie, but I don't know. I always like movies like that. Blue Sunshine. Like I'm a mark for like late 70s drug movies. Like they just.
I mean, yeah. Oh, like have you ever seen fucking Panic in Needle Park? That's an early 70s one.
Ooh, no, I haven't. Sounds like my cup of tea though.
That's fucking Al Pacino, bro. Panic in Needle Park.
Oh, really? Okay.
New York. It's early New York too, so you got the city still, looks, you got the graffiti everywhere and on trains and all that shit. So it's like, yeah, that's a good one. Panic in Needle Park. Early one, man.
Pacino's the fucking man. Serpico. Dude, all the movies he was making at that time were just like Godfather. Like, dude, like the guy could do no wrong. The guy made so many great films. How about favorite actor and actress for you?
Actor, huh? My mother fucking loves Denzel, dude. She just loves him like so much.
Denzel's the man.
He has like all his. For me, like, damn, I don't know, man. Actor.
Denzel, an American Gangster, and I would say Remember the Titans, and Training Day. Denzel has fucking done so many great movies. I would say even Philadelphia is one of his.
Oh yeah, that's one of his top, I think, bro.
Everybody says Tom Hanks steals Philadelphia. I would say Denzel steals it.
See, I'm more. See, I'm like a Mo Better Blues guy type of shit. You know what I mean? Like I like him in that, and I don't know. He's up there for me. Denzel's up there for me. And actress. I mean, I might have to go with Viola Davis, and that's funny because they're both in Fences. But for her, because she's a homegirl, she's from the city that I'm from out here, bro.
Oh, fucking really? I didn't know that.
Viola Davis is from the city that I'm from out here, brother. Yes. Yep.
That's fucking awesome, man.
I never met her. I mean, she's older than me, but like, you know, she went to the same fucking school I went to, and I think maybe one of my cousins might like have gone to school with her, bro, like, and kind of knew who she was. And yeah,
that's cool.
You know, it is cool, but she's up there because and she's more newer, but fuck, dude, that's a tough one, man. That's just like the horror stuff, but the horror question is more easier for me and stuff. But yeah,
it's hard to pick just one. I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Trent says, "Remember the Titans" is great. Britt says, "Wow, yeah, that's really cool." I think fucking the Baldwin brothers all went to my school, so it fucking nothing of note there.
Yeah, okay.
They all fucking suck.
Well, yeah.
Especially Alec right now. He's in trouble, man. That was
yeah. We got some craziness going on with that. Yeah.
Sure. Britt's one of her favorite actresses, Larry David. Larry David, one of the best comedic writers to me, man. The Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm a big Larry David guy. I love him. I don't know. For me, I'm a mark for fucking Kurt Russell, Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah, he's a great one.
Those are probably my two favorite, like right off the top of my head. I would say Denzel is great. I really like Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington would have to be up there.
Have we the thing is, Denzel, have we seen him in anything like, you know how Robin Williams, he did the serious shit really, really fucking well. I mean, and then he's got the comedic shit, which is his base. Same thing with Kurt Russell. He can do the comedic and serious shit. Denzel doesn't like seem like he could do the comedic too much. That's just not his thing, you know. That's just not his forte. He's just more of a serious, you know, straightforward actor. But he does the action shit pretty good with Equalizer and stuff, you know.
Sure, and I think, you know, it's funny. A lot of comedic actors, they always seem to want to do the serious. Like when Jim Carrey did Truman Show, everybody was like, "Holy shit, you know, you can really act." It's the same thing with fucking Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind of Jim Carrey. Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo, he can literally transform himself. I mean, you watch that movie, you're like, that's the voice from the fucking Aladdin and the genie. That's
Insomnia, bro, with Pacino is
fucking great movie. Probably Christopher Nolan, one of his best movies. Nobody fucking talks about it.
Yeah.
It's funny with Denzel, it would be the other way around. Here's a guy who always does serious that maybe he would need a little fucking levity, like maybe just like a stupid comedy, like a, you know,
I can't see him doing it though, man. Like I don't think he would. I don't think he's gonna stoop to that. Like I say stoop to that level, because I guess like maybe it's frowned upon. Like they want to put some people in the Hollywood vibe. Like, okay, this is his thing, that he's a serious actor. Like to see him go to like a dumb I mean, I guess you could say, what's that one from the 80s where it's about the heart and shit, and he has the switch up. Is it Heartbeats? I think there's one called Heartbeats. It was early on in his career that he did and shit. But yeah, so that's a more like lighter tone something and shit. But yeah, I guess for some actors it's tough to go from being all serious all the time. Like you would to see a Pacino and a De Niro in like a fucking stupid comedy, like, dumb shit, right? Like it's kind of like you kind of cringe sometimes. You know what I mean?
Sure. It usually backfires when you try to do something like that. Like, I don't remember. You remember the movie with Stallone and De Niro called Grudge Match, and the whole idea was you get Raging Bull versus Rocky, like all these years later, and you do it as a dumb, almost like a scary movie, like boxing movie, like that similar humor, and it just didn't fucking work. I mean, they threw Kevin Hart in there. They tried to throw talented. I mean, I like Kevin Hart. They threw talented people in there. I just what the fuck? Like that movie was terrible. Like considering the talent involved, it's a bad movie. It just didn't have any oomph to it. So I don't know. Sometimes and like even thinking of Sly, like the Sly, a lot of the times he tried comedy, it didn't really work. Like Rhinestone. Does anybody fucking remember that?
Oh Lord, was that with fucking with
Dolly
Parton?
Dolly Parton.
Or fucking Estelle Getty, bro. Don't stop or my
mom. Stop or my mom will shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Stallone still says, yeah, is the worst movie of his career. He also did the one called Oscar, where he's like playing like a rich snob. Like Stallone did a lot of comedy attempts, and like a lot of them just didn't work for whatever reason. He was stereotyped as the action guy. I think, if you want a great Sly performance that's not of the norm, watch Copland. I really like him in Copland. That to me is like one of the best performances.
Well, bro, we just said Copland. Fucking Paul Calderon, back to Tenement, full circle, was in Copland, dude.
Yep. That's a kick-ass movie, man. Like fucking that whole ending where he's like deaf and he's just blown away fucking Harvey Keitel and all that. Like fucking, that's an epic movie, man. I really dig that. But again, like it's hard. It really is hard for, to me, that's why I think a Kurt Russell, Robin Williams are even better, because they can do both.
Yeah.
It was seemingly effortlessly, especially Kurt Russell. Like to me, it's like Kurt Russell can make you laugh, and Kurt Russell can make you fucking, like, you watch Death Proof, you're like, fuck, like this is a bad dude.
They're more versatile than say like a Stallone or Schwarzenegger, who's done like Twins and shit like that. But you're always gonna see fucking Conan on the screen, dude. Because that's what
Terminator. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's Rambo. Oh shit, Rambo's funny now and shit. Like,
yeah. No, I think I would say Schwarzenegger is probably, he maybe did a little bit better with Sly with the comedic stuff. Like Kindergarten Cop is an okay movie. Fucking Twins is funny. Like he did it all right. The Stallone, I feel like completely swung and missed with stuff like that. And like, I don't know. Like I would say, what about Van Damme? Do you like Jean-Claude Van Damme? Like, would you consider him? I guess a lot of people wouldn't say he's even an actor. It's more if he's like an action star. But I fucking really like JCVD, to be honest.
I fuck, dude. That's funny you say that. I literally just sold that film, dude. That JCVD.
No fucking way, really?
Yeah, I did. No, but yeah, it's like him, man. Like, has Van Damme been in anything funny?
There's lighter like the Van Damme dance. Like I think there's a lot of films like his that like have a sense of humor. Like Universal Soldier has a sense of humor, and even Bloodsport. Like these movies, they have heart. But they're not a straight up comedy. No, like not a straight up comedy.
What's the one he did where he's like an instructor on a fucking like a deserted island, or these people go to learn like survival skills? I think
wasn't it Welcome to the Jungle, something like that?
Yeah, wasn't that one more kind of like a comedy, lighthearted shit? Like
I remember that being forgettable though, because I fucking honestly don't remember the movie at all. We got a couple comments here. Let me go back because I don't want to miss any. I think we were here. But what about his Oscar-winning performance in the Cat in the Hat movie? I don't know, man. Alec Baldwin sucks, in my opinion. Denzel in Training Day was so bad. I agree. That's one of the best performances of all time. I can't see Denzel doing comedy. I can't lie. I'd sort of like to see it, but I agree. He's also a little bit older now. I don't know. Maybe the time to do that has passed. I don't know. Nah, man. 1 Hour Photo, forget about it. Yeah, no, 1 Hour Photo is a great film. I agree. I think De Niro is good in some comedies like Meet the Parents. I don't know about Pacino. Pacino, didn't he do that really bad? Oh, yeah, Brit mentions it down here. So, okay. Oscar was awful. The only good thing is Tim Curry is the fucking man. Trenchy Pacino was in Adam Sandler. Yeah, Jack and Jill, man. That was that's the worst Adam Sandler film. I didn't know that, Brit. Yeah, no. Jingle All the Way, classic comedy. Okay, I can see that. I like Schwarzenegger did okay. He did a couple of decent comedies, but again, how many serious roles did Schwarzenegger do? Like, how many like Oscar-worthy performances, you know, like even I
Yeah,
would say Sly is a better actor, like Sly
yeah,
and Rocky, Sly and Copland, fucking. I would even say Sly in First Blood. I love
yeah.
the end of First Blood where he's fucking crying and I can't keep a job parking cars. Do we get to win this time? And that fucking performance, man.
Daylight, bro. The tunnel movie, the tunnel movie. Daylight with Stallone. I love that
Oh shit,
movie.
yeah, that's right, that's right. And that was my birth year. That's 96, right? Daylight.
Wow. I'm
That's
so
my
old,
birth year.
John.
Um,
96, I was in the military, brother.
Were you really? That's crazy. Thomas here. I thought Denzel was funny when he defended Will Smith. Yo, that's fucking funny.
Bro,
um,
see that's where I well, not to get too deep into it, but that's where I question all the shit. Well, it's Hollywood, bro. They're actors, man. You don't think that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it at like it was staged. That's my thoughts on that shit. That's it. So
I hear you. No, totally. I fucking I don't know though. I certainly it's interesting to see like all these dynamics with these actors and stuff like that. And but what about we've been talking actors. What about actresses, man? What are some of the, I know you said Viola Davis, but any actresses that spring to mind that you'd want to talk about?
uh hmm. Shit, let's talk about what's her name here? Mina fucking nah, just
No
uh
shit. Top 10 for Sly. I will definitely do a top 10 for Sly. And also, before John still answers the question, we're probably the next actor spotlight. We're going to do John Candy. I did a poll, and John Candy won the poll. We did John Candy or Michael Keaton, and John Candy won. So I've already got the John Candy list working. So hopefully that's the next one. But I will definitely do a Sly top 10. I would love to do that. I love Sly, man.
hmm. I mean, like Viola Davis, like I feel like, because she's the home girl, right? I gotta root for the home team, bro. It's like the
Sure.
Mets,
No, absolutely.
you know. But yeah, I mean, just for acting chops, or like, because
Just
dude,
personal favorite. Doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to
I
be
mean,
like
I
Oscar
used to
winner.
fucking, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I used to be in love with fucking Rosario Dawson, dude. Like when I saw her in like After Kids, I think I saw He Got Game, and then I was like, oh, she was in this movie. Oh, she's younger here, but in He Got Game, I was just like, fuck, dude. Like for looks, but
I like her in Clerks too, and fucking. Do you ever see Shattered Glass?
oh no, no. Have you seen Trance?
No.
Good. She's in that. She's in two movies. Like one with Bruce Willis is Fire with Fire. The other one is called Trance. Go watch a movie called Trance. It's a good movie, and we got the scene with the full frontal there with the oh yeah, bro. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's good in that movie, man. I like that movie a lot, and I yeah, I kind of like her because you know what, she's kind of versatile too, because she can do the comedy and she does the serious shit a lot, and she does the inner city, like, really gritty type shit a lot, really good too. She was in the fuck is the name of that movie? It has to do with like them, like being against, like, so they're protesting against something, and she's in that, and I thought that was really done really well. I think she has a child in the film. But then if you get back to Will Smith, she's in fucking 7 pounds, dude.
Oh shit! I went on a little rant on 7 pounds. Were you there for that?
No, no. What's up? You don't
Bro,
like it?
honestly, not even talking about this whole Will Smith
Yeah, yeah.
fiasco. I don't want to get into it either. Um, that was around the time he was really chasing the Oscar. Like I love The Pursuit of Happiness. I fucking loved him and Ali. Really, with 7 pounds, bro. I get it. It's a film that helped a lot of people, especially like if you've ever been really depressed, and like I understand it's a very sentimental film for people. So again, I don't want to piss anybody off. I found the film sort of fucking weird. Like for
Yeah,
people that haven't seen fucking 7 pounds, Will Smith like basically kills himself in it with fucking jellyfish, which
yeah.
I don't fucking understand. Like, don't jellyfish have venom? Like, wouldn't the fucking venom destroy your organs? I don't know, man. I'm not a scientist, but he kills himself with jellyfish, and like, all these people get parts of him. Like, someone gets his eyes and shit, and
Yeah.
like,
his organs. He becomes like an organ donor for different people get different parts of him and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I like there's parts of that movie where he's following her around the bar, almost like a stalker, like a creep. Like, I don't know, man. That movie just didn't hit home for me. To me, that of the Oscar like fish bait he was trying to do, that's like the weakest one for me. But I like Rosario Dawson. I like Woody Harrelson. There's even Will Smith isn't bad. I don't know, the film around them just always I felt was flat. I don't think it's as nearly as good as Pursuit of Happiness, which I believe might have been the same writer or the same director. I forget. It was around the same time too. Right. And I remember seeing that, thinking going in, okay, this is going to be the movie he wins the Oscar for. And I walked out very disappointed. That was me, though. I don't know. Do you like the film?
7 pounds, yeah, I liked it. Like I've seen it a couple times. I got the gist of it and stuff. I guess for me, Pursuit of Happiness is better. Definitely, because the subject matter has to do with a true story, actually, based on a true story.
Yeah.
I don't think 7 pounds was, but although I could see that, like, I don't know about the jellyfish thing, but I could see somebody. All right, I'm gonna be an organ donor. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get it. Choosing who you're gonna give your body parts to, basically, it's kind of creepy if you think about it.
I thought it was fucking creepy. I don't know. Rosario Dawson, she's getting my heart, baby. Like, what? Before I put my sausage into you, like, blood dying. John Candy is awesome. Yeah, we're working on that. I'm almost done with the list. John Candy's gonna be the next one, and then maybe we'll do Sly. I think Sly would be fun. John Candy, the pride of Canada, dude. I'm a huge Candy guy. Shattered Glass is great. Hayden Christensen, probably his best career performance. Dawson had an awesome scene cut. Did you know that? I did not know that, man.
I didn't know that either.
AJ, please expand on that, because I had no unearthly idea. That's interesting. We are going to just ignore the talents of the great Meryl Streep, Goldie Tings, the actress of all actresses. Oh, what do you think, John? So you a Meryl Streep fan?
Not really.
Neither am I. I'm sorry, Britt.
It might. I don't know. Well, it might be I don't know. Maybe it's a New York thing, bro. Like, just certain movies and certain actors. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, I get it. She's done great films and many accolades and all this and that. But I don't know. For me, I'm more like I'm the more down to earth type, bro. Like, I like seeing like people that can portray a regular person, as a regular, you know what I mean? Like, and not buy into the whole pizzazz of it type of shit. Like,
I agree with that completely. I don't know, and I know you're older than me, but I don't know if you grew up with any of these films. I was always a big Betty Davis fan. Probably my favorite actress.
Oh, dude, the Baby Jane. That's Baby Jane, classic, bro.
That's one of my favorite performances ever. And Betty Davis, like you were just explaining, like the glamorous type. Betty Davis wasn't. Like, Betty Davis was not a very attractive woman.
No.
But she just could make you feel any emotion. She could make you laugh. She could make you cry. She could terrify you, like in Baby Jane or Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte, which is another great one from that time, directed by Robert Aldrich. And fucking The Nanny, where it's this great psychological horror movie where we don't know if she's trying to kill this kid or not that she's taking care of. Fucking really good actress. Betty Davis, I think, is the best ever. I really do believe that.
They did a fucking song about her. I think it was Kim Carnes. She's got Betty Davis eyes. You remember that fucking song?
Yeah. No, I fuck with her, like, heavy. Like, to me, like, of that era, like the golden era, it's Jimmy Stewart, like Cary Grant, fucking Clark Gable, and Betty Davis. Like,
there was like a big top circus movie that Jimmy Stewart was in. I forgot what it was. It's a
circus movie.
Yeah, go look up Jimmy. I think it's Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart circus movie, bro.
Okay, here, let me look it up.
If you haven't seen it, go watch that shit.
I haven't. I mean, I've seen most of Jimmy Stewart. I always loved Harvey with James Stewart, which is basically this guy, he like loses a family member, and he starts coping with it by imagining there's like a 6 foot tall imaginary rabbit there. And it's a fucking, I know it sounds weird, but it's a great movie. The Greatest Show on Earth is the one you're talking about.
Do you think Donnie Darko took inspiration from that?
I mean, maybe. I would definitely say Donnie Darko is a completely different animal.
Just with the rabbit thing, though.
Sure, totally, maybe, absolutely. Especially being tall and why are you wearing that stupid bunny suit? Why are you
exactly?
Yep. Maybe. I love Harvey though. It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, fucking Philadelphia Story. I love Jimmy Stewart. I mean, the guy really, he was one of the best, and especially did a ton of like quality stuff. But yeah, no, I really liked him. I don't know, are you a fan of Olivia de Havilland?
Give me something she was in.
The Snake Pit is the one that, like, the main one for me. She's basically in this mental asylum. She won Best Actress for it at the Oscars.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's a good fucking movie, man. It's like, it's really claustrophobic, tense. She's just great in it. She also she's in Gone with the Wind. She's also in Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. She's in a ton of fucking good movies, man. Olivia de Havilland's great. For old school. I don't know, with actresses, I tend to lean towards the old school.
That makes sense.
School, it's tough for me, man. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I always think of more horror with actresses. Like, I really fuck with Naomi Watts. I know, like, people say, oh, she's the poor man's Nicole Kidman, which she probably is.
That's fucked.
She fucking is, though. Like, it's true. I can't even, I love her, and I can't deny that.
What's up, Trent? He said, hey, John. Yes, sir. Damn, man. Actresses. I mean, again, this is one of these things. Like, I there's nothing that sticks out. Like, because for me, dude, my favorite movie of all time is The Warriors. So I'm not gonna say, oh, that the chick that's in that, or like, you know what I mean, like, or like something like Teen Wolf. I mean, Wizard of Oz is like my second favorite movie of all time.
Oh, so, fuck, Judy Garland would have to be one of my favorite actresses. Sorry to interrupt, but
no. Yeah, I think maybe her for that, but like just like beyond that, I don't really follow any one actor or actress too hardcore and shit.
I don't know if I do either. It's just like certain times I enjoy. I realize I enjoy someone's work. Like, why have I watched so many Kurt Russell films? Why have I watched so many fucking, Stallone films? Like, it's like, I there must be something there, but I agree. I never like consciously do it. It's just something you sort of just fall into. But yeah, no, I hear you completely.
I like Walter Hill, obviously, for director for The Warriors, Streets of Fire, 48 Hours. Like, so these type of films is like shit that I've always been into. And Eddie Murphy, like, for me as a kid, like, was pretty tops and shit. Like, I loved every movie that he was in early on, like Golden Child and all that stuff. So I followed him up until a certain point, and I was just like, all right, Eddie Murphy's stupid to me. No, I don't like him anymore, type of shit. Beyond Saturday Night Live, beyond his comedy, his stage, and his earlier films, when he start getting into, like, I'm probably one that didn't like fucking the Crumps and fucking and Dr. Dolittle, and I wasn't really into any of these.
Pluto Nash killed fucking Eddie Murphy.
Pluto Nash was fucking trash, dude. Like, straight up.
Bro, that movie was like $100 million movie and grossed like 9. Like, that movie fucking killed.
It should have succeeded, man. It was just like the writing, whatever it was just. He wasn't. I don't think he was even made for that role. That and that Dave shit that he was in or whatever.
Oh, fucking Meet Dave, where he was Eddie Murphy inside Eddie Murphy.
This is when actors, like, I think that Pluto Nash was a fucking dealt him a kind of a blow. You know what I mean? Maybe they thought it was going to be more successful, but like, I feel like sometimes I could have almost seen Eddie Murphy in Men in Black versus Will Smith, bro. And I think maybe it would have even been more successful with him in it.
I honestly would have much preferred that. I fucking love Eddie Murphy, and I agree with you. Like, and you make a good point. It is, actors' careers are always peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Trading Places. That may be my favorite fucking Eddie Murphy movie. I mean, Dan Aykroyd, fucking JLC. I love Trading Places. John Landis. I love that movie. It's great. Fucking Eddie Murphy on SNL doing the James Brown and the hot tub and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And Eddie Murphy was untouched. I think he was the funniest, most successful actor in the world in like 1984, 85. That era.
Oh yeah, like when he started getting in Beverly Hills Cop and the 48 Hours and another, all that. Yeah, that was his highlight back then. And then
don't you feel like they all sort of fall off at a point? Like, I don't think Robin Williams, as much as I loved him towards the last few years of his career, like, he's making Old Dogs and fucking some lesser movies of what I think it happens to everybody is my point. You know, it's like it's hard. Like, and weirdly enough, with Eddie Murphy, we mentioned Pluto Nash being a bomb. We mentioned Meet Dave. In between there, I think he did Dreamgirls and was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
That's actually a good one, man. Like
great movie.
Movies. Yeah, no.
It's just weird, like how it all like goes peaks and valleys. Like Stallone, you look at Stallone, how many bad movies he made, and then like they bring back the Rocky character in Creed, and he's nominated for Best Supporting Actor again. Like it's like it's weird how it kind of goes up and down, but that's really what it is for an actor. There's so few to me that have consistently stayed on top. You know, it's hard. I think.
I mean, you got to think, man. They're all contracted, like so many movies, so much time, all this other bullshit. Their agents, whatever they find for them. If it goes back a little bit to like what we're talking about these movies and shit. And I mentioned earlier how Adrienne Barbeau is a great. She was a great woman to meet and talk to as far as horror. I consider her a horror icon. You know, I do. You got her in Swamp Thing. You got her in The Fog. You know what I mean? Like
Creep Show.
And she's still getting work. So to this day, like they got her in a small bit part. I just watched something the other day with her in it, where she was playing like the Fog role again to get the
Stevie Wayne.
Stevie Wayne, bro. Like she was on the horn in this newer movie that with Tony Todd. It's called Hellbenders.
Oh shit.
Go look it up. Hellbenders. It's brand new, dude. Like just came out this year, last year, whatever the fuck. Hellbenders. She's in it. Tony Todd. It is what it is. It's not the best, but it's fun. I watched it.
Impromptu question. I don't know why you mentioned his name, so I feel like I have to. It's fun. We're mentioning the Candyman's name with fucking. Do you think, man? Like I personally think this. Like I think Tony Todd should have been way fucking bigger. Like, and I'm not saying he's not. You know, everybody loves. I've never met someone who doesn't like Tony Todd, but like, I feel like he should have been even bigger. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff he's in, it's always bit stuff. But like, the guy is so fucking good, man. I would love to see him more as the lead and stuff. Because Night of the Living Dead 90 killed it as Ben.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to see him. I love the bit roles in the Final Destination movies and fucking. He's great. The guy's money. I don't know. I always sort of wished he could have been in the lead in more films. But
better management. I think maybe I don't know who's in his corner or like who or if he's self-promoted. Like like people become their own agents in this Hollywood shit when they reach a certain tier. Some of them never reach that tier, but and that's all. A lot of that's just through connections. But for him, bro, like I could definitely see him being the lead in something. And of course, well, Candyman, he's the lead in Candyman. He's the fucking Candyman. But like in another horror movie, bro, like you know what he would have been dope in, and I don't know why they didn't put him in this shit. I don't think you ever see VFW?
Yeah, with Stephen Lang and
why the fuck wasn't Tony Todd at VFW?
No.
Come on, dude. They're fucking up, man. Maybe he was doing other work, but come on, dude. Tony Todd and VFW would make he could have been the lead in that. That would have made all the fucking sense to me.
Do you think it's maybe a thing where he knows he can get bit roles, get paid big money, and that's just more what he goes for?
You know what? For some people, brother, I think it's like they go with the smaller bit parts because they know the money is more consistent. Once the fucking bigger shit comes through, you gotta wait on that money. They don't get paid right away, dude.
No, you know and even though they're getting the bigger paycheck, it's probably smarter to do the roles that are going to get you work,
right?
Because it's like perfect example in Masters of Horror. He was on one season where he played the monster. He played this like devil demon thing. I was like, that's fucking Tony Todd. How cool is that to see? But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, I would have liked to see him actually be the lead in an episode. But again, the guy has such a great presence, so it's cool to have him be the monster at the end. You know what I mean?
He's like perfect. He's okay. Another thing, like he's like perfect for like one of these, like if they did a horror series on TV, like you know how they just did what the fuck did they do? The Creep Show. They started doing the Creep Show.
Yeah.
Like you know how Jordan Peele opens up the new Twilight Zone shit, which, hey, I like the new Twilight Zone shit. Anything Twilight Zone, I like. I don't give a fuck who's in it, who made it. I love all Twilight Zone, especially the OG, but I could see Tony Todd like doing his own like show like that, like his own. He's the opener, like a Rod Serling type of what, man.
Oh
Like, you know what
shit!
I'm
Could
saying?
you imagine him being the fucking presenter of anything?
Yeah,
That would be fucking
like
insane.
a anthology series, but Tony Todd is, and somehow he like I don't know if he's maybe he's fucking like a Jordan Peele or like a Rod Serling, and he's like fucking he's producing it. Like it's not Creep Show, it's not Twilight Zone, it's something along the lines, you know, like all those things meld together. Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, all them shits are pretty much all anthology series. But yeah, him as a horror anthology series, I could see that.
I think so too. I think that's actually great. I think he would have been better than Jordan Peele as a presenter. I think because to me, what sets a great actor or great actress apart is presence, and Tony Todd has it, man. I really do. I think Tony Todd has it. I see this comment here.
You want me to tell him?
Yeah, please. Unless if you loved it, I don't know. I might fucking explode, but we'll see.
No. All facts. I have not watched past the Scream 2 movie ever, any of the other ones, and I don't like the Scream franchise. So
okay.
I never related to it. I could never relate to the people in it and just the whole I know who it is, I know who the director is, but it always fell short for me, the whole shit, man. So,
do you think it was a timing thing for you? Like,
yeah,
since you would have been where, like mid-20s around that
90s,
point?
yeah, somewhere in the 90s, the first one comes out and shit.
96. I came out the same fucking week as Scream.
Okay, 90, bro, fuck. 96. Dude, fuck for real, dude. 96, I'm somewhere in my 20s, maybe later 20s. I'm in the fucking military in Hawaii, dude. I'm stationed in Hawaii. 96 is when I was 22 years old, bro. I got married to my ex-wife of, years ago now. Like I got my second wife down with. There's no more. But 22, bro, is the first time I got married. 96, I'm in Hawaii. Yeah, bro. I wasn't really relating to fucking Scream at that point, man.
I can totally see why. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like sometimes it's timing. Like it really is. Like,
well, you're right.
I'm sure years from now I'll be talking about the same shit. I know I don't think you like the Babadook, right?
No.
That again, that's a movie to me. It was bad time. It just didn't click with me at all. But like people to this day tell me it's a fucking masterpiece.
It Follows is another one that I'll get shit for it from some people. Like, well, you don't like that one? No, I don't know. It was something about it, bro. I couldn't. Again, I get like the most impressive scene to me was the dude fucking standing up on the roof with the dick out. Shit. It's unexpected. It's unexpected. So you're like, oh fuck, like you don't want to see it, and then like that part, but then I don't know, like the rest of it was just like, what the fuck is this movie, bro? And I like the actress, dude. I like that little blonde chick or whatever.
Michael Monroe, yeah.
She's in The Guest. Now she does a fucking phenomenal job in The Guest. Have you ever seen The Guest?
Yeah, Dan Stevens. That's a really popular movie, actually.
Then she's with with Adam Driver, bro. Have you seen the one with her with Adam Driver?
No, that one I haven't seen.
It's kind of like almost like a home invasion type of movie, but it's again, it feels like it's another fucking slow burn, like The Dead Don't Die.
Oh shit! No, I didn't.
Go look at Micah Marie. That's her name.
Michael Monroe. Yeah.
Michael Monroe. Yeah, she's in a movie with Adam Driver. They're a couple and they fucking invade these people's house, but it doesn't. I don't know. Just yeah, not too good. Maybe somebody in the chat knows.
Yeah, no. Fritz says I had a friend who was always like, I wasn't watching shit. I was somewhere having sex back then. Oh my god. Yeah, no. There's always that one person about whatever. Yeah, exactly. Silence of wow, really? See that I love Silence of the Lambs. I can't lie. So I mean we've been at this 2 hours. I feel like it would be cool to like end on a fun topic here.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you like to see horror go? Because like we've been talking. We've pretty much covered a lot tonight. But it's funny you just mentioned the whole generational thing where like sometimes it's the certain point in your life that you're in. Like so you said you were in Hawaii getting married when Scream came out. Saw comes out in 2004 and that changes the fucking game. I don't know if you actually don't even know if you like or dislike Saw. But like what do you even think of what Saw did for the genre? Like do you even like the whole torture movie thing? I don't. I like Saw, but I don't like the torture
Right. The more torture porn, like just fucking watching people be tortured. The first Saw movie and probably the second one. Again, I'm a three-peat guy. You know what I mean? I'm like the Bulls in the 90s or what, going up against the Knicks type of shit, and then fucking
Breast
like,
and pepperonis than the Knicks.
hoping that fucking Ewing does his job and whatever. But um I just like a lot of these movies for me after the third one, bro, fall off. It just I don't know what it is about their fucking you would say 9, 10, 11, 12. So their fucking senior year, their fourth movie, their senior year. Why are you fucking up now? You just had three pretty successful movies. I feel like a lot of these fall off, bro.
They do, definitely. And that's it for everything. I mean, like, very rarely do you get to the fifth, sixth installment of a franchise and the shit's still good. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Halloween 5, look at Elm Street 5, look at a lot of people tell you I actually really like Friday 5, Friday 13th, The New Beginning.
Oh wait, that's our favorite one, bro. That's the one with fucking
Roy. Yeah, but a lot of people hate it for that. So, like, I don't know. Let people be like, oh, after 5 or whatever, a rule of 3, rule of 5, whatever. But where would you like to see the genre go right now? Like, are you like, what are you into nowadays? Like, or are you just like me? Primarily, I do watch mostly old stuff. Like, I'll be honest, I watched a horror movie called Fresh recently. At a friend's house, thought it was fantastic. It's called Fresh.
You talking about with the little boy that plays chess?
No, this was
Oh,
it just came out like a month ago. And it was like this guy and this girl are dating, and he's like selling her body parts on the internet. Fucking weird movie. It just came out like a month ago.
So some like cannibalistic stuff.
Yeah.
All right, bye guys. Well, we got guests, and my daughters make the cut.
Special guest appearance on the Graveyard. They're 15 seconds of fame.
Both of them. No, but bro, where would I like to see it go? I like like the Tony Todd shit, like maybe somebody of this caliber doing like a anthology series that maybe is developed around him. What'd you forget? But what am I thinking? Like for me, dude, I like a lot of the psychological shit. You know what I mean? I'm into like I said, I'm into more of the cerebral horror. Like oh shit, that makes you think. Like if you ever seen a movie with Adrian Brody called The Jacket.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Go watch that. So but that's older. That's not new or anything. That's a little maybe 2000 somewhere. But shit like that really makes me like want to pull out like okay, like define it more and pick out like the psychological portion of it. I just love that shit, man. I would love to see more cerebral shit. Like I think Jordan Peele, I'm gonna go back to him again with the Us and Get Out. Those are more like a cerebral. And I'm not saying that they're the best. I like both movies, but I'm like I think we can even go like beyond that shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's and I love and the other thing I love to see them doing more like, bro. I would love them to bring Tales from the Dark Side back as an anthology series.
Oh, dude, one of my all-time favorite shows. I don't know if you know Gideon, Bloodbound Productions on here. He and me, we always shoot the shit about Tales from the Dark Side, like how much we love that series.
Oh, you guys did the show on it, correct?
We did a top 13 episodes. Me and Elm Street Warrior on Instagram. That's one of my thousands of views. That one's a really popular episode. And that I've always loved that show. I mean, one of my favorite shows of all time. That would be cool if they brought that back again, though. That thing is so 80s. Like, I don't know how it would work now. Like Twilight Zone.
Tony Todd doing Tales from the Dark Side, a new spin on it.
Imagine him doing the intro. Man lives in the sunlit world. It's funny though. It's like you mentioned Twilight Zone, and I have it literally right here.
Fucking love it, dude.
Like I still watch the original series all the time. Like I fucking love it. I can never get enough of it.
That's something I'm not selling, bro. I'm selling off my whole collection, dude. But like a fucking 95%. But the 5% that I'll keep would be that set, dude. I'm not getting rid of that, man.
No, you can't. It's just like, and honestly, they still look really good, like because they were shot on film and shit. But like, I don't know. There's something about Twilight Zone I could get adapting because it did deal with a lot of social stuff. Although I would say the new series, it was a little too much with it for me. Like it felt. I thought the old school series you had a good mix. This it felt like overkill with it for me. That's just me though. The 80s Twilight Zone, I think was way more sci-fi and way less social commentary.
Well,
People would say that. You
well,
know,
the 80s Twilight Zone, you said?
so I'm saying I think the 80s Twilight Zone was more of that sci-fi horror and not as much social commentary episodes, whereas the Jordan Peele one was more social commentary and less sci-fi horror to me.
Right.
That's how I saw it.
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because didn't Forrest Whitaker, like, wasn't he the host for one of the Twilight Zone renditions and shit?
Forrest Whitaker
90s, didn't they, or early 2000s?
Early 2000s, they did one with Forrest Whitaker, and that's like the most forgotten of the four. I don't remember being terrible. I remember it was basically like a PG version of Masters of Horror, because the Masters of Horror came out and blew that away to me.
Fuck, I gotta go watch this Tony Todd episode of Masters of Horror, bro. Because I watched that whole series when it came out on HBO. I remember that shit, bro.
Yeah. I think you could watch them for free on streaming. The one with him was it was called Valerie on the Stairs, and it was Mick Garris, and it was like this guy checks in. He's a writer. He checks in, and fucking Christopher Lloyd is in the building. It was solid. It was really good. And like Tony Todd's killing all these people. Fucking Seth Green. Seth Green's wife shows up in it and she shows her fucking big yits. Fucking, I thought it was a banger episode.
Okay, man. Yeah, I gotta go watch that shit, man.
You know, for real. John Steele, I know which fresh you're talking about. You taking it back. I've not seen that one with the boy.
Oh, bro, come on, man. Whatever. Trust me, I will never steer. I ask most people, I will never steer you wrong with the movie suggestions, bro. Ever.
Tenement. If Tenement was number one, I cannot wait to see what the next one is. That's all I got to say. They can't do sequels now like they did in the 80s. There was just something cheesy but special about them back then. Yeah, I would agree. Now it's like they're always trying to just do the requel bullshit where it's like, okay, we'll only remember the original and we'll do a trilogy. I hate that bullshit. It's garbage. Facts, AJ. Yay, Tales from the Dark Side pudding. Yay, pudding in your mouth. I need a live from one of you dudes soon, Trenchy. Yeah, no, Trenchy's the bad. We've mainly been doing Backrooms, Brit, but I might get back doing lives eventually. Yeah, no, I've wanted to have Trench on for a long time. When he gets his mic fixed, we were supposed to do Pet Cemetery, so that should be cool. They should do Dak Fairy Tale Theme Anthology Show. Hey,
Fairy Tale Theme Anthology Show with Tony Todd hosting and shit.
Yeah, no, Tony Todd is a host, man. That would be fucking cool. I would sign up for that any fucking day of the week, man. But yeah, no, that would be awesome.
Oh, one thing, bro. I'm not trying to keep you. I don't know how long you can fucking stay, but I could do this all night with your ass, man. You know that shit. But
thank you, man. I appreciate that.
For real. Back to the Frankenhooker story that you had, right?
Yeah.
So the fucking Joe Bob Briggs show, right? That he has and shit.
Yeah. The what's it called? Fucking Midnight. Fucking what on Shudder?
Yeah, Shudder.
Yeah.
The fucking, you know how he's been doing that shit, but he has it now. He's got that new male girl, right? So that male girl used to follow me on IG, and she was fucking telling me stories. Like she was fucking DMing me about some shit, and she said that she had like a battle with Frankenhooker because she went dressed up as the chick, and like I don't know, they got bad blood between each other and shit. Yeah, she told me that shit. I was just like, for real? She's like, yeah, like this was years ago or something. Like, wow, that's some fucking story right there.
Could you imagine fucking Frankenhooker and fucking this bitch getting into a brawl at a convention? I'm Frankenhooker.
Sign up.
A super crack.
Want a date?
Yeah, no, for real. That would be fucking crazy. But dude, yeah, no. I've had a great time shooting the breeze with you, man. I really have. This has been a fun show. I'd definitely like to have you back on somewhere down the road. Maybe we'll do 2 more obscure ones. Like I appreciate you thinking of to do a movie like Tenement, and then that's when I was like, dude, female director spotlight. We'll just do a tribute because
that's like awesome, bro. You fucking just gelled off the same vibe, man. Yep,
dude. Yeah, no, you were a great guest. I appreciate you coming on tonight. And definitely I want to have you on down the road. But yeah, no, I want to thank everybody that was here. We had a pretty lively chat crowd the whole night. It was a lot of fun. We did a Spanish intro. Which was fun. And we talked about 2 awesome underrated horror movies, Tenement and Blood Diner. I highly suggest you watch both. They're both free to watch. Tenement on Tubi, Blood Diner on Roku. You can watch both for free. So if you want to watch these movies, see what they're all about, highly recommend. But Brother Steele, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Dude, you're very welcome. I'll be sure I'll promote this. I'll send the link on Instagram and all that stuff. And everybody, we're going to call this a night. Everybody have a wonderful, safe, happy, healthy weekend. And we will catch you next time with the Horror Boy. The Horror Boy will be here next week. What we're talking about, we will reveal in time. But until then, I am the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass. Live in the color here with you on Grande's Graveyard. Not the juice. No, just kidding. We love the juice. Too sweet. Peace, and we'll catch you all next time. Good night, everybody.